Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond Beats and Culture. I'm your host, the cultural commentator, Chase Dark Sage, here with my co-host.
T.
And we're back with another episode of Hip Hop Goodness because we are the most consistent show on the platform and we actually talk about the music. But in today's show, we're going to be talking about new music from Kurt Cobain's The Baby, Young Thug, Lil Baby, Key Glock, Lil Uzi being rushed to the hospital, Outkast, and Salt and Pepper being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Keisha Cole going on her 20th tour, Vaughn's debut mixtape, The Good, The Bad, The Dollar Menu, and we have some topics like what's happened to TDE and Absol? Is rage not hip hop? Or, the new trap isn't hip hop conversation and things like that. And what albums in the artist's discography where they should have stopped making music to have their discography still be great? Like, where could they have stopped and not continue making music itself? Before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like the video if you haven't already. Check out the description where we have timestamps of all the topics that we're talking about today. Our social links will be in the description down below as well. Links if you want to submit your project for us to check out as well. And daily clips on the channel every day. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for our exclusive shows as well. But besides all that, how have you been, B, since the last episode?
I've been good, B. I'm officially a homeowner now, so that's kind of cool. Clap it up. What were they saying? The American dream has been accomplished, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, this shit sucks, man. It's cool. But you're gonna spend a lot of money. So, hey, man, hey, if you renting, continue to rent.
Correct. Because if something breaks, I'm not fixing it. I'm telling somebody.
But yeah, B, that's it for me, bro. I've just been moving and getting everything situated at the new crib. But how you been, man?
I've been all right. Literally the last vinyl record I ordered for Record Store Day, it got to my place of residence. Some apartments had the parcel lockers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it got in the parcel locker. I go there the day it gets there. Literally all the parcel lockers are shut down. They're still shut down as I'm talking to you today. So I have not gotten my last record for Record Store Day. It is here. I just can't access it. So
why they shut down?
They shut down because they all messed up. They're all messed up right now. So no one can access them. So they had to send an actual technician out today to fix it. I don't know when they're gonna fix it, but I don't need none of my packages going there now. And I could have prevented
crazy.
I could have prevented it. I'm not gonna say how, but I could have prevented it. And I feel so stupid for not doing it.
Damn.
It is what it is. That's an L. And a lot of my vinyl pre-orders are coming in. I got my Bum B vinyl pre-order in last week. Been waiting for the Trill Static 3 and 4 on vinyl. Oh, my Bum B collection is still complete. But besides all that, B, what have you been jamming since the last episode?
I jammed a few albums this weekend, just once. Didn't really get to dive into these albums, so I'm gonna speak a little briefly about them. The first album I jammed was Niontay's. I guess is his debut album. I talked about him later on this year. What, you want to listen to it?
I was supposed to listen to it this weekend, but it was just I had so much music that I was already listening to before that I forgot to go to it. But it was in my list of stuff to check out.
Facts. But yeah, I need to figure out the science of the title of this album. It goes Feta, Fada, Feta, greater sign, three of money sign. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to do my science on that. But anyways, let's get into the album. You know what I'm saying? So my first listen is all I got briefly. Deontay I don't know, he's just a little different, bro. I really like how he rap on here. I love, like, sometimes he gives that nonchalant flow, but some of the stuff he's saying, bro, it'd be witty, it'd be funny.
Oh, that greater than 3 is supposed to be a heart.
It's a heart?
Yeah, because that's a less than. When it's put like that, it's less than.
Yeah, less than.
I mean, if you were doing that, but that's a heart.
But what you mean it's a heart?
Fada's love of money. That's what that looks like.
Fada love of money.
Because think about it, when you have the greater than sign like that and that 3, that makes a heart.
That is true. The less than
That's how
sign,
people used to text before emojis. Come on, man, you should know this. You came up in that generation.
When
we used to use
phone.
XD, when we used to use XD and stuff like that, those were the old school emojis back then.
Yeah, but I didn't have a cell phone when people was texting like that. I didn't, bro. All my homies, I wasn't texting. I use my homie's phone.
B, you
B,
was
I didn't
literally in
get.
chat room showing feet. What are you talking about?
Nah, chill out. I had my first cell phone. I had my first cell phone when I was like 15. It was like '09. I was like 14, 15. I got my first phone in
Oh, oh
'09.
nine. I okay.
Yeah.
Oh
So
nine.
like I'm
Okay.
late. That's a less than sign, bro. I need to go back to
Well, it's
school,
a less
boy.
than because it's pointing that way.
That way, yeah.
So as you read
Hey,
it, it's fada less than,
five last
but for
sign.
that, it's fada love because that's a heart. That
Okay,
less than
fuck.
and the three is a heart.
Hey, Niontay, see, he be talking slick, man. You know what I mean? For the love of the money. That's kind of
Yeah,
hard.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
That's what that is.
hey, and this the album title goes into some of his wordplay on here. Like he say some stuff, bro. He like, yo, little homie be wild. And it's some stuff I wanted to type up and like write down, but I totally forgot. But man, like the run on this project, man, I like pretty much everything on here. I like the features he had. I just like my favorite track on here. Well, I want to say I really like the production as well. But my favorite track on here is Triangle Offense with Mavi and Sideshow. Sideshow was on that joint rapping, bro. They all three of them was rapping, but Slideshow was rapping on there. He got in there with like some aggression, just talking his talk. But I don't know if you're familiar with Slideshow, but he's dope. I think he's from out of DC. Is he from like the DC area? Think of like the DMV area somewhere around there. But overall,
Mhm.
man, for the love of money by Niontay was really dope. I need to listen to it a little more. Like I said, I
How's the
briefly.
Mavi feature on here? I'm looking at the track
Oh,
list. How's the
I'm
Mavi
not saying
feature?
Mavi. I'm saying all three of them was rapping on there. Mavi's on
Okay.
there. Mavi was dope on there as well. But
What
I
about
say
your boy El
slideshow.
Custo?
El Custo. I think he was mostly on like the. Excuse me.
The hook?
I think he was. I think did El Custo. He just like was talking on there. I don't remember his verse on there. To be honest, I don't think he
Yeah.
was rapping. I could be wrong. He was either on the hook or he had like he was just saying some stuff because he had
Mm.
some. He had a good amount of skits through this album as well. But this is something I'm gonna have to re-listen to. Like I like Niontay stuff, and this is the longest full length project he ever put out. This is what 42 minutes long. Yeah,
Mhm.
44 minutes long. Usually his stuff is short, like little EPs. So I'm really happy that we got something that's a good length and we can really dive into it. So I need
Pause.
a few more listens. No pause. I need a few more listens before I can actually like give my really fully critique on it. But this is just something I jam, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
for the love of the money by Niontay, man. For the love
Mm.
of money. This was dope. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Dang, he had
Okay.
some lines I want to repeat, bro, but I just can't think of them. What about you, B?
I jammed a lot of music. But I guess I'll start off with the new stuff. Coco Jones finally came out with her debut project, Why Not
Mm-hmm.
More. Had to listen to that. Also had to pre-order the vinyl. Um, Coco Jones is one of those people that, I discovered her off of the Bel Air show. I didn't know about her on Disney because by the time she came on Disney, that was past my era. But
Yeah.
my fiance knew about Coco Jones though. But going from Bel Air, then listening to her debut EP or deluxe EP, heard that last year, kind of boring. This project right here as a debut project, I think was really well done. It's that modern contemporary R&B that I really do enjoy. Very mainstream like, and it appeals a lot to the mainstream. So this is a sound that I like sonically from Coco Jones. I think I got more of her personality and her becoming this older person within the industry because she did start off as like a child star, like on Disney, and
Mm-hmm.
now she's obviously a grown adult, talking about certain things sexually on her project, being a grown woman and things like that. The usual stuff that you would get from modern contemporary R&B. This is what this project is. I just thought that it was done well. There's only one song I didn't like, and there's one of them songs where they do like the reggae tone, Jamaican
Mm-hmm.
type thing. I hate those type of songs. I'm sorry. And the worst part is that's the title track. That's the name of the album. I'm like, you stop it. I hate when people do that. But me personally, but going besides all that, I really enjoyed this project. She has some deluxe coming out, which I haven't heard it, but it's only like 3 bonus tracks. But yeah, so far this is a pretty good project, especially for it being her debut project. Even though I know a lot of people was talking about the controversy from her on the Breakfast Club and what
Don't talk about
Charlemagne did, even though I don't think what Charlemagne did was wrong in any sense of that situation. I think more so he was calling out the label. I just think people didn't like the way he did it. But I think that Charlemagne should have done what he said because I agree with him. As someone who uses TikTok, as someone who uses Twitter, especially with us doing the show, and we have to kind of like
it.
stay in the know about certain things. The only time I've seen her stuff promoted is through TikTok.
Mhm.
like the promotion for Coco Jones wasn't as good as it should have been for a project
Mhm.
like this, especially her debut and Def Jam backing her. So I don't know. I agree with Charlamagne with what he did. Call them out, put them out on Front Street, put them on blast. I have
I
no
didn't
problem with.
even. Yeah, me neither. B. I didn't even know she was dropping an album.
I did because I subscribed to Def Jam because of the vinyl stuff, and I was getting the newsletters and stuff like that in my
Yeah.
email. But if I didn't know, then I wouldn't have known that she was coming out with a new album. But also, like I said, TikTok, I've been seeing a lot of promotion on there as well. She's been promoting her songs like that. Her previous single that it wasn't good, and I'm glad she didn't put it on the album. But she was promoting her song through TikTok and things like that. I think this new method of advertising through TikTok is it's not the best way to advertise it, unless you're a younger artist like a Lil Tecca.
Yeah. B. You didn't watch Let It Shine with Coco Jones in
Mm-mm,
it
mm-mm. I
with
don't even know
Everybody
what that
Hate
is.
Chris and Trevor Jackson when they was rapping. They
I
was
never
going back and
watched that.
forth. That was 2020. I was a senior when that dropped, but like my
Hmm.
sisters, they was heavy on Disney still. I wasn't, but if it had anything to do with like some hip hop stuff or whatever, and I was like, everybody hate Chris over here. I'm like, all right, let me check this out, bro. It was
I never knew about that until I realized, that's where she's from. And so
yeah,
I was like, oh, but I seen clips of
yeah,
it on TikTok, but I
yeah.
never knew about it as a kid.
That's all I knew of her from. And then when she popped back out, I'm like, dang, I was like, oh, that's the girl from Let It Shine. But other than that, I didn't. It's like she went ghost. I didn't know her on any
Hmm.
show or nothing like that. I just knew from Let Her Shine.
Yeah.
But, but yeah,
Yeah. Overall, like I said, I think they did drop the ball on the promotion, but overall, I thought that was a really solid album, especially for a modern contemporary R&B album. It's nothing too crazy. It's exactly what I wanted, exactly what I expected. So yeah.
yeah.
What's your next project?
My next project, I went back, bro, just because they used this song on a commercial. I forgot what commercial it was, but Herbie Hancock, Headhunters, probably like one of the best albums of all time, jazz fusion, all this the jam, like just jamming out and just making some really dope music, bro. It's 4 tracks, 42 minutes, and these guys are just doing their thing, bro. I don't know if you familiar with Herbie Hancock. You're familiar with Herbie Hancock, jazz
I've heard of the
musician.
name, but if you ask me to name a song of his, then no.
Yeah. But like one of his most popular songs on this project is Watermelon Man. Probably his most popular track like ever. But just the production on this, bro, and the beats, like it just has so much elements of so much stuff that you could tell how it's like pioneered a lot of things, bro. Like even you could feel like hip hop in that song, bro. But um Herbie Hancock was introduced to me by my grandfather. He loved jazz, so he was always showing me like different jazz musicians like John Coltrane, Miles Davis. The average jazz guys like introduction to them, and like Herbie Hancock was one as well because him and my aunt used to go to like a they go to like the mall and they'll buy a little 99 cent vinyl and stuff, and they'll actually bring it to me, and I was like, yo, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And and this was one of the albums that was in there, and I checked it out, bro. I used to jam this album so much, and it was so crazy when I heard it on there, on the commercial. I'm like, bro, let me listen to this. It's been so long since I listened to this album, and like, bro, it's just so dopey. It's just so much in this that you should check out. Like, I don't know if you a fan of jazz. You probably not. You probably like, this is whack. I can't listen to this. It's no
Do I think
vocals.
it's
You know what I'm
whack?
saying?
No,
Nah,
but
yeah, but
I'm
it's
also
probably not.
like,
It's not for
yeah,
you. I know.
yeah, because to me, jazz is lounge music. Jazz isn't something more like, to
But
me,
this
jazz is
funky,
like
B.
it's the perfect background music. You get what I'm
But this,
saying?
yeah, but this is funky jazz. This is jazz fusion. Like this has some, you know what I mean? You gonna move a little bit, you know?
CB,
You
when you
might
say that, I got a question. I got a question. Was it like the scene in Sinners when Preacher Boy was playing that thing, and then you just felt all the eras of black music? Is that how that felt with the fusion?
man, no.
You said you felt a bit
Bro.
of everything in there, B.
No, but this is different. This is different. You know what I'm saying? This is
Like
different.
this is actually good.
No. The idea was good, but I didn't like how they executed it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, Headhunters by Herbie Hancock. It's like one of the greatest albums of all time. Music across the board. I don't know if any of you guys haven't listened to it, but check it out, man. Like, expand your palette, listen to all different type of things, man. It's just what it is. Jazz,
Hey, I,
bro.
I tried to
Is
listen
where
to
it's
that
at.
Miles Davis album
I
last
remember
year.
you
Was it
told I
last
remember
year?
you told me which Mal
I
Davis was
get
it? You remember?
the most famous one, the most like
Bitches
iconic one.
Brew? What Bitches Brew?
No, uh, It's the most iconic, like Miles Davis. When people talk about
The
Miles Davis,
Cool?
they always talk about this album. Was it Miles Davis? I could be talking about someone completely
Was it
wrong.
John
Let me look it up real
Coltrane?
quick. Kind of Blue.
Kind of Blue?
Hmm.
Kind of Blue. Let me look at the cover.
This one right here.
Oh, that one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, my bad. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a
That's the when
uh
people talk about Miles Davis. That's the one they talk about. So that's the
see,
one I
I was
listen to.
introduced to Miles Davis with Bitches Brew. Because I think that was the
Mm.
one that was controversial at one point, but it became like a favorite. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. My next thing I'll talk about, and this is someone that we talked about releasing a new project, and I haven't heard of him in a while. Roy Woods, Dark Knights. He came out with a new project. I haven't heard of him since back in like the SoundCloud era, basically back when Drake put his hand on his shoulders, and I barely heard anything from him since after that. I think I heard the one project right after that one. I'm not sure, but going into this project, it's cool. I like it. It's short. The only thing about it is like he gives me very heavy Weekend and Michael Jackson vibes, which isn't a bad thing because you can see those influences in Roy. But at some points, I'm like, all right, this just feels like darker Michael Jackson, aka sometimes it felt like The Weeknd. Wasn't bad. Sonically, he sounds kind of like The Weeknd, but he isn't all the way there. And he's always doing, and it feels like what he's doing is like not a bad impersonation of Michael Jackson, but you don't have that it factor like Michael
Mhm.
Jackson to be hitting what he's doing. But you can see how Michael Jackson is heavily influenced and how he does some of his singing and vocal patterns when he's doing that, like doing that
Yeah.
like what Michael Jackson used to do. But besides that, this project was cool. I think the problem, I'm not the problem. I think the thing about it is that it's moody, it's dark, it's atmospheric, it's all that type of stuff that we're kind of accustomed to when it comes to a lot of
Hmm.
Toronto artists. It's that Michael Jackson slash Weekend impersonation. Like every time I heard some of these songs, I'm like, okay, this feels like Roy Woods that I'm familiar with, but then it's like, okay, now I feel
Hmm.
like you're impersonating the Weekend and Michael Jackson. Overall, cool project. I might have to give it a few more listens. But yeah, Roy Woods, Dark Knights. I just haven't heard of him in a long time, so I wanted to check this project out. But what's your next
Yeah.
project?
But now speaking of Roy Woods, I forgot I was gonna check that out too, but I haven't listened to a Roy Woods album since Say Less in 2017. But yeah, he always get into that bag of that. And he like,
Mm-hmm.
he do that stuff
It
that
feels like a
Michael
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson impersonation.
Yeah. Hey man, Nocturnal. It was another song he has on what's the EP he got with Drake?
Exes, I think
Exile,
that's what it's called.
Exes. He had one song on there when he was in that bag. But my last and final project be, didn't listen to too much because your boy was on the move. Was Flight Anakin. He dropped Friday. The Forever Dream. Oh man, this right here be was like I said, this is my bag. This right here, this speaks to me. But
So
oh my god,
in the realm of paint the
you
picture.
know he Flight Anakin. He puts you in the realm of like he affiliated with like Mavi, Pink Saifu, Logi, Quele Chris. He has some Quele Chris. Quele on here like three times. He got Denmark VC's on here. Slick Money on here with the one single they dropped. He had the Alchemist on here. I think Alchemist made the beat because he got him featured. But yeah, bro, that's it's just in that realm. And B, the production on here is so well put together. The interludes, like one of the interludes, but like, oh my god, this album right here is probably my favorite thing. One of the favorite things I listened to this weekend. And he like subject matter. He kind of he dabbles in the same themes that he talk about, but here it was more of a like a I don't know if I want to say spiritual, but it just felt like seems like he's in a better space, I guess. But
He's in
rapping
like
wise, you say what?
he's in like higher spirits.
Yeah, in a way, I probably got to listen to it a little more because that's what I was getting from this. You know,
Mhm.
I, and then he did the intro. The intro, little one is track four. You know, what I'm saying he got three tracks before the intro. Then he have an interlude at 15, and he has an interlude at track 10. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and it tripped me out having an interlude at the end of the album. But the last track, Say Thank You, was so dope, bro, with him and Pink Saifu and what's his name? Torres Benji, because him and Pink Saifu work well together. But the production on here was like a super standout, and the features, like Slick Money. I don't know if you remember Divine Council. You ever got into them? It's like Slick, it was Slick Money. what's his name? Icy High, Icy Twat, something like that. And Lord
I know who
something.
that is.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
he was a producer. But Slick Money had a dope verse on here. Nicholas F was on here, bro. Logi has a really dope verse on Check on Me. And but my nigga is my favorite track on here. This was like one of the singles he put out. This song is so fire, bro. The beat is so dope. Quayle Chris on it, bro. Cause Quayle, what an album at, man. Like I know you've been doing a lot of production. You rapping on here, like he was really rapping on Pocket. Like he was on there for a long time. Just no, not too shabby. Like Quayle Chris was rapping on that joint, on not too shabby. But like, bro, I have to like be this something like I said, like my Pink Saifu album, my jam. Like this is another one that's gonna be in rotation. You know, when I get to listen to music, this is one of those albums as well. But
B, is this a top 10 for the first half of the year contender for you?
man, it's crazy. I haven't even thought about that because this year to me seems like a blur.
It's slowing. It's so slow. It is
It's so
slow.
slow.
But I
Hey,
feel
we
like
talked about it last week.
big drops did happen.
That don't mean nothing though. Big drops can
Big
happen,
drop.
but it gotta have more like it's different when big drops happen and when big drops and good albums happen. Cause like I haven't like we in the first quarter, but like I haven't even thought about
No, we in a
who's
second.
al second quarter. Yeah, we going into yeah. I was thinking, I'm like, bro, what album is my album of the year? Like in the beginning,
I
I'm
am
like, okay,
music.
yeah, this all right. See, uh Fly
Did
Anakin's,
Pink Sifu come out this year?
yeah.
Oh, that's your album of the year right there.
Nah, I need more. I need more contenders. But
Mm,
anyways, I I might, but I'm gonna have to just, I'm gonna have to scrounge up some stuff, I guess.
hmm
But Fly Anakin's The Forever Dream, if none of you guys not familiar with him, this guy right here, he's also a part of a group. I cannot think of it. My mind's just blank. But anyways, he been around for a while. Like I've been familiar with him since like 2017. And this right here is like one of my favorite. He will never disappoint when it comes to production or like the rapping because he also has like this raspy voice that makes him stand out as well. And some good flows in there, bro. And just the production he's on, it just fits him perfectly. That's why I'm saying I always say this. You got a dope voice, dope production, or a unique voice and dope production. It's kind of hard to like
hmm
not like it, you know what I'm saying? But oh yeah, that Fat Ray dropped this year too. That Fat Ray was crazy.
Oh yeah.
I need
Oh
to
yeah. Food
revisit
from
that
the
Fat
gods.
Ray.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I need to revisit that. But that Fat Ray was crazy. But
hmm
yeah, Fly Anakin, The Forever Dream. If you guys, man, I highly recommend you guys to check it out, man. Check it out. But that's my
All
last
right.
album I listened to this weekend. B.
All
It's the
right. It
last
looks
one.
like it's time. I'm gonna try and do some quick hits on these.
Speed run.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. So listen to Gucci Mane's Trap God and Trap God 2. You guys know Gucci Mane is one of my favorite artists of all time. Had to go back re-listen to it because I've been re-listening to some Gucci Mane projects throughout this year actually. And going back to Trap God and Trap God 2, I remember we had this conversation of who's better between Gucci and Jeezy. Gucci Mane, man, when I'm listening to this music listening to this, it made me feel like he was still in that life that he was rapping about. I remember during the times, the moves that he was making, also during this time too. I'm like, this is a very self-destructive Gucci. Like, this is a Gucci that I was like, because especially when you comparing it to projects like Back to the Trap House, to stuff like this, you'd be like, oh, this is a different Gucci. This is a darker Gucci. He's like, yo, I've off somebody. It's like, yo, don't test me. I'm from the six. Don't test me. He's putting all of Atlanta on his back, but he's like, yo, I'm that guy. Don't play with me. And you feel that energy coming out of here. You also got features from a very young thug, young Scooter, obviously RIP to him. I think Dolph was on here at some point as well. Meek Mill, Rick Ross. Just this project right here in this series of mixtapes. It's one of my favorite series of mixtapes because, like I said, this is a different Gucci right here. Literally everything he's rapping, you believe it. It's scary. But like I said, this is a very self-destructive one because all this was happening. He was putting out all that stuff, went to jail, had the super lean gut and all that stuff, came back out healthy. We needed this before he went to jail because it's like, all right, Gucci, you're giving me some deeper and darker stuff, but you need to calm down. You need to sit down somewhere. This is fire, but you need to, for your own health and safety, sit down somewhere. Jail sat that man down. He needed that. Uh, but R&B wise, I listened to Rihanna's Anti for the first time because I know this is a highly acclaimed album. I was never really into Rihanna like that. I remember when I was younger, I downloaded all her stuff because, at this time I was allegedly, doing bootleg CDs and stuff like that. And this one girl wanted all of Rihanna's albums on CD. And so I downloaded it all at that time when I was like in high school, listened to a good amount of it, but I never like listened to her newer stuff like that. Like obviously I've heard the huge hits, and I gotta say, B, I know I'm going to be crazy for saying this. I think this is like a modern day thriller. When I'm looking at the hits, the influence, the impact, and this is being her last album that she has released, I'm like, Jesus, like just listening to all these songs back to back, I'm like, when we talk about albums that could be like the thriller of this generation, this album might have to be it. Rihanna is the one that's gonna have that album out of anybody. Anti Deluxe, there was so many hits that we all know off there. It's gonna be very nostalgic to it, to y'all. I listened to also a Mariah Carey album, The Emancipation of Mimi. It's his 20th anniversary this year. Shout out to Anastasia 25. She does R&B reviews and stuff like that and videos every now and then. And she was documenting like why this album was so important for Mariah Carey. And I'm like, okay, this year's the 20th anniversary. She made a video. Let me go ahead and check it out. A lot of great throating on here. Mariah can sing, or at least she could sing. I don't know about now, but that girl back then, she had a lot to prove, and god dang it, she proved it with this album. This album is fantastic. There was no misses on this album at all. Pharrell production, Jermaine Dupri production, classic hits on here. We belong together, stuff like that. But then last album I want to talk about, Mooney Long. Listen to her album last year that came out, Revenge. I thought it was cool. I thought it was all right. I think I had too much expectations on it last year, so I went back to re-listen to that. I'm like, all right, this project is good. I don't know why I was tripping. So then I went to her project before that because I didn't know she had a huge song off of that I've heard before. Public Displays of Affection, that album, the deluxe version. Mooney Long. I apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game. That's all I got to say right there. That project was wonderful. In terms
Bro,
of modern contemporary R&B, this is the ish I love, B. This is the
my
game that I
my
miss.
my son loves that one song that was a meme. Nobody loves
Oh,
you like
twin, where have you been?
bro. He loves that song, bro.
Mhm. I like the song too, but I think the thing is TikTok makes it sound better because I'm like, after I hear it the second time in the song, I'm like, it don't hit the same for me. But yeah,
Yeah.
overall, Mooney Long also is one of those contemporary R&B artists that I really do enjoy in today's day and age. I'm just wondering why is she not bigger? I know she has a lot of writing credits and things like that, but I'm just wondering why she isn't bigger itself. But besides all that, that is it for what I've been jamming. That's been it for what you've been jamming. Let us know what y'all been
Hmm.
jamming down in the comment section down below. But now it's time to get into the news section of the show where we talk about new music releases and hip hop news and current events. But let's start off with the music releases. Coco Bangs, Choose Self, May 21st. You have no
Kirko.
anticipation for this at all.
Kirko bangs. Nah, bro. I'm good. Shout out to Kirko though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Local Texas artist. You know, not I'm not the one that's gonna listen to his music, but shout out to him for continue to make music and make a living for his family. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm, mhm.
But I'll pass on
Uh,
that.
yeah, I know you would. I just wanted to put it in here because obviously no one's going to be talking about this. And
Hmm.
Kurt Cobain's like, the album came up in my Spotify upcoming pre-save thing. I'm like, all right, cool. And I saw that he had a vinyl for pre-order. I'm like, all right, let me see like what the pricing is on that. I saw the pricing on that be $99. I'm like, oh, you must
Oh, his
believe in yourself.
vinyl.
Yeah, it's a signed vinyl. But I'm like, oh,
Mm,
you must believe in yourself. You
mm.
have to for $99. We don't know what we getting. You haven't been absent for the last few years, but you haven't been making any noise for the last few years like that either. $99 for a signed vinyl. Mainstream artists ain't even doing that, B. So I'm just like, you must believe in yourself because you can
Hey,
only really do that if you have a cult following.
is it color vinyl at least?
Yeah, I think it's like gold
Oh,
or opaque, whatever they call it.
boy,
But
trying
yeah,
to make that money back. How many he pressed? How many he pressed?
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, he trying to make. Is it gatefold?
I don't think so.
It's not a gatefold. He not trying to make his money back.
I don't think
Gatefold
so.
color 99. It has to be gatefold for him to like want 99 for it because he trying to get that bread back. I wonder how many they pressed
Oh.
up.
Yeah, I do too. But also it's signed though. So that's
Yeah,
what's making me like, did you put out a lot of them? I'm trying to look it up right now as we talk.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Cause you know,
Everything
when
is
you
on
do
mute
stuff,
right now.
when you do stuff like that, be
So yeah,
you trying to make a little
the
bread.
sign the signed vinyl is kind of like silverish gold. It's
Okay.
$99, limited edition. You can also buy the album, the digital album B for
Hmm.
$99.99. So you can get a week before release.
Oh,
You can get the merch bundle where you get the shirt, you get a signed poster and the CD for 149. Um,
mm-hmm.
you could get the choose yourself bundle pack where you get a lanyard. Maybe it's for an access pass or something. Box set, all that,
Dude,
399. And you could get the
he's in.
$1,000 bundle pack too, if you want.
He's independent, right?
I assume so.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he's trying to get that bread. Hey, I'm not hating the game. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Do
I'm
your
not
thing,
hating it
bro.
either, but this is gonna be very you have to have a strong fan base, I feel, if you want to warrant this price. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta
I'm not
have
saying
some
you have to
type
have
of
the
cult,
biggest.
like a
Exactly.
cult
That's what I was
following,
saying.
kind of like a Makami.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really like a Griselda type gang happening
No,
because
I'm saying like Makami.
mhm,
Makami does that. Gazelda, they put their stuff out. You know, you could get it, but Makami drops all this stuff, $1,000 lighters with a vinyl for like,
mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. I
nah,
think Kirko is crazy for this, but he must really believe in himself. If the album is good though, because this is one of those ones where I gotta listen to the album first. Like I can usually if it's like 30, $40, it's an artist I love, I pre-order it. I ain't got no problem
B
with that.
B, I want you to do something. I want you to bookmark that store, and I want us to check it weekly just to see. We should do that every week on the podcast. We're gonna check and see if it's sold. Is it sold out? You know what I'm saying? Did he drop the price?
Uh-huh.
I think we should monitor that. I think
B, I
that'll be
think
a
I
really
should put it in
good.
the paying for $25. Imagine me paying for this $100 and then next week it goes like to 30 the week of release. Oh, I'd be so mad. I'd
That's
be
what I'm
so
trying
mad
to
because one
say.
payment would have paid for the whole thing.
let's let's watch it. Let's actually document the process of
Uh,
this.
I bookmarked it. So I
You
got all my
bookmarked it.
bookmarks right now. Yeah,
All
so
right,
it's gonna be
we
right on
got
my little homepage.
so we got to keep that in the notes just to make sure we do our weekly check of Kurt Cobain's merch, vinyl, all the sales. Okay, we got to make sure that sells out, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It is. I'm not hating on it, but especially if you're independent. No, he is independent because I remember he was talking
Yeah.
about the label issues and stuff like that on one of his albums. But yeah,
Mm.
this to me, this the I guess he has something happening on the 24th, an event access pass plus meet and greet, $249. And on the lanyard it says free entry. Free entry, I paid for that. What you mean? Yeah.
Woo.
Let me get off of Killer Kirk Cobain for that though.
Yeah.
Next thing, the baby. Please say the baby volume one. He came out with a mixtape. I had an actual coworker telling me about this after I already knew that this came out. But yeah,
Hmm.
this on live mixtapes, YouTube and SoundCloud. It's literally like an old school mixtape vibes where he's going over different people's beats, rapping on it.
Hmm.
If you like the baby, you'll like this. But if you know what comes with the baby, that same timey flow that he usually does, same subject matter, nothing too different. He's rapping over the local hottest beats of right now. So yeah, I know you're not interested in this, but I wanted to bring it up because no one else is talking about it.
No.
I know. Look, I can look at this stuff and I already know if you're interested in it or not.
Hey, but
Uh,
you put it on there though, so we can talk about it. You know,
yeah, because no
somebody got
one
to
else
talk
is.
about it. Yeah,
I
somebody got to
agree.
talk about
I
it.
also forgot Meg Thee Stallion came out with a new song this weekend too. I think it's called Wherever or Whenever.
B B
Everybody has been trashing it, as they should though.
B. They say she's
Not
a
because
female,
it's a woman. Yeah,
but they said she
exactly.
the
I
female to
agree.
baby.
That's
She
why
put
I
out the
brought this
same
up.
song.
That's literally why I
Yeah.
brought this up. Meg has been making the same song for 3 to 4 years. I liked her last two albums, not the deluxe that she put out last year with that album last year, but I thought
Mhm.
the last album was good. I thought her album before that, Traumazine, was good. The only two good projects she has in her discography besides the Tina Snow one, but besides that, it's all samey. And I get it. There's a place and time for that, but guess what? And I know people like to call me a misogynist when I said this about the women rappers, even though I've said this plenty of times, and I've killed the male rappers about this even more. It's y'all are such a smaller sample size that you have to stand out from each other a lot more. A lot of these guys, yeah, a lot of them sound the same, but I could at least go to someone like a Fly Anakin, be a Pink
Mhm.
Sifu. They're not gonna be
Yeah,
making the
yeah.
same thing as a Moneybag Yo or a Finesse two times. You get what I'm saying,
Hmm.
B? It's way easier for me to find the unique voices than it is for me to find the same timey voices. For me
Yeah, cause
personally.
yeah, cause like you could find female artists that's not making that type of rap, but like you said, it's not many of them, but they're out
Mhm.
there. Um, I think one of these, I don't
Rhapsody
want to
and
say
Shay
probably,
Noir. I just want to put those out
yeah.
there. Great
What's that?
rappers.
Um, one thing I
Jean Grey.
wanted to say, No. I wasn't talking about the women no
Oh,
more. I'm talking
okay.
about the women, but not in this. Like, I'm still talking about the women. But B, remember last year we had that discussion about women hip hop and like where it's at and like where it's gonna be. I
Hmm.
think we should revisit it like later on down the line this year because I don't know, but it looked a little skeleton.
Hmm.
Look like a like it looked like a crackhead. It looking a little
Hmm.
thin. Hip hop
Hmm.
already looking a little thin, but
Hmm.
you know what
They
I'm
about to
saying. So
suffer even worse. But B, what about Sexy Red's latest single though?
what, bro?
Have,
Nobody
have you
talking
not
about
heard
that,
her?
bro. That
But
whole
B, it's all over on
bro,
TikTok. People are
they
making
gave her
trends of it.
B. They gave her Bruno Mars and it didn't pop off. Fat,
Facts.
juicy, and wet. Nothing, bro. Nothing. I
Facts.
was talking about that
Facts.
the other day with my wife. Like, bro, like that
I had a
song was
coworker
supposed to
talking
be
to me
it.
about that.
Like, you got Bruno Mars. This supposed to be out of here. Nowhere. Nowhere.
Bruno Mars literally had a debt to pay off in Las Vegas or something. He was like, "Yo, this is the one favor from that, and it'll pay
and
off all his debt."
and he had a big song last year with Lady Gaga.
But that's Lady Gaga though.
I know, but I'm
What the
saying,
f does she know about cameras?
what the? She know about cameras. She the creative director at Polaroid. What a
Classic
Gaga?
move.
That was classic. But look, my whole thing is, if you give an artist Bruno Mars beat, it has to have some type of tick. They got nothing. That's when you know it looks scary. You know what I'm
But like I
saying?
said, B, it was on radio when it came out and around that time. It was heavily on radio. Even though we knew it was gonna, I think we already know, we talked about this before, certain named artists are gonna be on the radio when they put out something new for what it is.
But B, look, okay, look.
It
I'm gonna
didn't
give
make no
you
noise
this.
though. I agree with you. I
I know
agree.
I'm gonna give you this analogy, right? Picture if Sinners was white.
Mm,
I'm just
mm.
saying that movie would not saying the movie struggling, but if that movie was Sinners with white folk and it was an original film, come on, bro. B, it would have did 300 this week
Mhm,
domestically.
mhm.
Come on.
And it would have
I'm
just been
just
a
saying.
horror movie. It would have literally been a bad horror movie.
Yeah,
But
that's
then
it.
again, you want to see white people sharecropping be?
No, B, come on. It'd be prohibition days. You know what I'm saying? They'd be
Oh,
selling it,
I
you
thought
know
you
what I
about to
mean?
say
They're a
the
little different.
industrial. I thought you about to say the industrial time. They be working on railroads
Oh,
and stuff like that.
albeit be the other side. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. But yeah, Young Thug's supposed to be coming out with Ooey Scooty May 9th. I know Mariah the Scientist, I believe, has alleged that she's supposed to be on the album as well. You're not hyped for this, but they did come out with a new song. Thug and Future came out,
You
sampling
listen
their,
to it?
their most iconic song. I mean, video. Yeah, I listened to it.
B, did you
Hearing
listen to
the
the Jit
song,
song?
I forgot. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm
Ah,
gonna listen to
yeah.
it tonight. I'm gonna have to listen to it
Okay,
tonight.
okay,
But yeah,
okay.
but when it comes to the Ooey Scooty song, especially with what Young Thug was saying, this sounds it sounds like stereotypical trap song, a
Mm-hmm.
stereotypical trap song that you hear on the radio.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have that pizzazz of like, oh, it's Future and Thug. Like you get what I'm saying? It doesn't have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
pizzazz. It was a
I
cool
know.
song. Would I bump it in the whip? Of course. Shout out to FIFO. But this don't have a lot of replay value for me. But I do
Mhm.
like the fact of if you see that girl with an AP, that is not my chick. She belong to the streets. Like, having that in
Yeah.
the song is iconic. But besides that, to me, that was the highlight. But yeah, to me, Ooey Scooty, I'm just wondering what is this going to foretell for the album itself, especially with it coming out probably I think next week.
I'm just gonna throw shots at Ghana. These
Yeah,
niggas
I
ain't
mean
rats, they
he
telling.
yeah, that and the little interview that he came out with recently that where he was all Kanye slash masked up. He was talking about we used to make movies. Now it's not movies no more, something like that. I'm just like, all right.
Alright. Alright, young
Yeah, but B,
gangster.
go ahead and let me know what let me know what albums is dropping this week, B. I see some heat in
so
there.
so allegedly we have little babies dropping Dominic. I don't know if this is gonna drop. I don't know. But right now it says it's dropping on Friday.
You heavily
Um
anticipating it?
I'm heavily not anticipating this.
Mm, mm. Okay,
I
okay.
know you're gonna listen to it. I know you're a huge little baby fan.
I used to be
You told
B.
me Lil Baby was Tupac of this generation,
He is.
especially
He
when he
is.
came out with
Well, really not him. You mean Glockavelli. That's what you mean. That's the
we
Tupac
go
of this
B,
generation.
we gonna get into that. We gonna get into that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So the next album we got Key Glockavelli dropping Friday as
So
well.
can
I
I talk
think
about the controversy behind this album?
Yeah,
or a
talk
little
about
bit
it.
of
Talk about
mess.
it.
So you know how he's been having the vinyl pre-order up for a little while now. He's, I believe, distributing through Empire, things like that. A few weeks ago, like a month ago, the vinyl was out on the floor at a store, so it was readily available to purchase. So people
No,
was
you mean at
able
the
to like at the
at,
vinyl store, at a actual record store.
for real?
Yeah, it was all on Twitter like, oh, someone let this album out early. It was literally him with the little thorn crown.
Hmm.
It was this album that was out on the shelf on the floor, like
I
readily
didn't
available to
know
purchase.
this.
Yeah, so this was like one of the talks that was happening a month ago. So everybody's like, "Oh, they putting it out. They don't really respect Key Glock, yada yada yada." Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, "Dang, people still getting the album this early now? The
That's
way vinyl pre-orders be
crazy.
happening, we don't get the album until 6 months later. So I'm surprised that the vinyl was even there."
But I know
But yeah,
Empire
that's
really
kind of
well on but I'm saying Empire really well of like distributing and like getting the stuff out there. Like, you know, the week of the album drop, sometimes Empire stuff is in stores, you know, they'll post. But maybe they already had the box sent out and somebody didn't get the memo and they dropped it a month early. I did not know anything about that. Because
Mhm.
Empire is one of them one of the distribution companies that if they not having a pre-order, if an album come out, that joint be in stores like that week.
Yeah.
Like they
Mhm.
pretty good at that. So that's crazy.
Mhm.
I hear nothing about this. So
Yeah.
did anybody leak the album online?
I'm pretty sure someone has, but I don't want to be like that. It's Key Glock.
Yeah. But Glock got a, you know what I mean? He got a little
He got a
fan
little
base,
fan
man.
base, just like Lil Babies.
Yeah, yeah. I like Key Glock though. I don't listen to him
These are people
like
who
that,
still
but
have to Google everything to get on the internet, B. They got Google the website. They got to Google google.com probably. But yeah, yeah, I'm not anticipating this. I might listen to it, see if it's quality raccoon tunes. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to see if
mm-hmm.
it's quality raccoon tunes. But I'm not anticipating this.
All right.
This is gonna be one of
Check
those
it out.
things that I play, and usually when I'm in the car and I'm playing a new album, if I get out the car, I pause the music. But for
Mm-hmm.
this something I'll just let it keep playing, and then I'll get back in the cars because I'm not missing anything. You know when you're in a movie B and you want to pause the movie because you don't want to miss a scene. Now
Mm-hmm.
this is the moment where you still go to the bathroom, you make a snack or whatever, and just keep letting the movie play. Like there's no reason for me to pause this. I'm not missing out on anything. You get what I'm saying? B like this is one of them type of albums right here. Like you know, I'm sorry, but you know
I totally know I totally know you saying, bro. It's like when I listen to a Gucci Man album. It's the same, you know.
All right, see now you're being disrespectful.
It's
Okay, let's move on, man, because you just being disrespectful now. Without Gucci, Keylock can't walk. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Without Gucci, little baby can't walk. I'm just saying.
all right.
Man, let's get
You're
on to the
wild.
hip hop news and current events, man. Lil Uzi was rushed to the hospital. One of my coworkers told me, he said, Chase, you go, man. He said, you go went to the hospital. I said, yeah, Lil Uzi. I was like, I literally just got one of his vinyls in my
Hmm.
possession the other day. But yeah, Lil Uzi was rushed to the hospital. But ever since we put this news in the actual notes itself, he has been looking to be in better spirits and in better health. So happy for that. But I don't think they really determined what was the cause of
Cause
why he
yeah.
went to the hospital. But I'm glad that he's doing better. You get what I'm saying?
All I saw was Kanye say Uzi's good. I guess he hit up Uzi.
I don't know about Kanye. Is Kanye's word any type of
He's
good nowadays? B?
he sent the screenshot of the message of him and Uzi. He's like Uzi's
I
good.
don't.
I'm like, all right, Kanye's
There's no telling what Kanye was texting Uzi
yeah.
before then. He probably deleted a whole bunch of stuff. But besides that, let's go on a lighter note. Outkast and Salt and Pepper have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is a W for Black music and Black culture.
This when you cue the claps, B.
What does the
The
company man say?
applause.
What does the company man say? 9 second
If it
9 second
applause,
applause.
clap for that. Yeah.
9 second applause. But
Hey,
yeah,
two
this is
seconds applause.
really dope. This is really dope. It's just great to know that my vote went towards something. B
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
results. Yeah, because I actually did vote
Hmm.
on them being inducted. But yeah, this is dope for Outkast and Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper is a group that no one really talks about, especially when it comes to women in hip hop. But Outkast being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. One, this is a W for the South because we're from the
Hmm.
South. This is a W for us. We stay
Hmm.
winning in hip hop. But yeah, this is really dope. And I know some people were trying to make it the Big Boy versus Andre 3000 discussions. I'm just like, can we just not be happy for both of them? They are
Facts.
together inducted into the Hall of Fame as Outkast. That's what they are. This is the group that they created. Let's just be happy for them. This is what they
Hmm.
wanted, most likely. I know Big Boy has been campaigning for this for a little while now. So I'm just really
Hmm.
happy to see that they're both getting the respect and the love that they deserve.
Yeah, shout out to both of them, man. So dope. They both duos. Well, kind of like a trio with Salt and Pepper because they DJ. What's her name? Spinnerella. I could be wrong about that. Spinnerella. I think that's her name. But yeah,
Mhm.
one thing why I think Salt and Pepper's not mentioned mostly because they have like big hits and stuff, but they wasn't the actual like penning everything. They had like a I forgot his name, but the producer worked closely with them with writing some of the lyrics and things like that. And
Mhm.
they know them because they Empire. I say Empire. They help catalyst of like starting females in hip hop, especially in the
Mhm.
mainstream. But no doubt about it, they are a legendary duo, man. A legendary group, Salt and Pepper. So Salt and Pepper and Outkast. This is really dope for the sport of hip hop, for the genre, and we just want to look forward to more artists to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Maybe me one day. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of legends, lastly, Keisha Cole going on tour for her 20th anniversary of her debut album, The Way It Is. Just wanted to put this in there because one, I don't think we've ever had the reason to speak on Keisha Cole. So to put her in the news cycle
Hey,
on the show, what are you about to say? What are you about to say?
I'm just saying she has one of the greatest songs. I'm just saying, should have
Which
cheated.
song?
Fire. Should have cheated.
Oh.
I should have lied. I should have cheated. I said I would have went out to the club.
But
No,
yeah, she's
bro.
going on. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Before you go, it's one song she had with Diddy. That's fire. I love that song. It goes, it's like, dang, how that freaking song go? I'm blinking. But it's
I,
Diddy. Diddy produced that joint. That joint fire to me.
I don't want
Keep
to be like
going, man.
this, B, but
Keep going. I'm gonna
If
find
Diddy
it.
produced it, it most likely is fire.
Hold up, keep going, B. I'm about to find it real quick. I
Hey,
got it.
hey, if R. Kelly put his pen to it, what did
Hey,
Drake say to Kendrick? Baby Key put his pen to it. Hey,
it's only
when R.
good with
Kelly
baby.
put his pen to it, hey, I'm
Oh
not gonna
my
lie. When
god.
R. Kelly put his pen to it, when D produced it, two nasty men, but they goddamn new music. But yeah, Keisha Cole, going on tour for the 20th anniversary of her debut album. Like I said, we never had a reason to talk about her, but I actually never fully listened to this album. I'll be real. Obviously, we're gonna know the Keisha Cole hits, but
I
I don't
found
know the
it. I
album. What
found
is the
it.
song? What's the song, B?
Last night, I didn't even get no answer. You
What's
don't
the
remember
name
this?
of it?
I tried to call. It's called Last Night.
Off of what? Off of
And
what album?
it's off of Just Like You. I
Dang,
remember
I
I
gotta,
remember the
I gotta
scene
see.
when she used to because she used to have a reality show on BET with her mom and her sister.
I
And
remember
I
that.
and I remember her and Diddy was in the studio when they was doing this song. Diddy was like, "Nah, you gotta put more pain into it." I remember this, bro, back in like what I was like in '06, '07 or somewhere around there. But dog, last night I didn't even get no answer. I'm just
Oh, okay.
saying,
I know what album this
yeah,
is. This
I
is the one
tried
with
to,
her eyes in it. And
yeah,
it's
bro,
off a Diddy album, Press Play. Nasty man. Nasty
yeah.
man.
Hey, that song, heater. But now the way it is, man, my mom played Keisha Cole so much, bro. Oh my God, like. Come on. This stuff, those first two albums are engraved in my head. Like if I hit those, I'm like, I know it.
So you
But
gonna
yeah,
pre-order the vinyl?
maybe
I actually pre-ordered it. Yeah.
you did.
Hmm.
I might. Heaven Sent is
And
fire,
Brandy,
man.
her Aphrodisiac album went on pre-order as well. I had to do that
For
as
real.
well.
I
What
just
a
haven't been
culture.
buying. I haven't been buying no vinyl, man. I've been buying
Oh,
those
you're a
CDs
cassette
and
man.
those.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're a
them
CD
CDs and
man.
the CDs and cassettes, man. I'm waiting on some stuff. Hopefully, it delivered before I actually officially move. Like, I don't know if I might have to contact some of the companies and see if I can get it readdressed. I guess
Hmm.
readdressed to the new address. But
Yeah.
but yeah, man.
I
Shout
could
out to Keisha
talk to you
Cole.
about that after the
All
show.
right,
But yeah.
all right, bet.
But yeah, shout out to Keisha Cole, celebrating her 20th anniversary. I remember when, she was dating Huncho or whatever, and she was moving all funny after their breakup. People was like, Keisha Cole ain't acting like she's Keisha Cole. I'm just like,
I mean, she got a little older and she's looks a little different now. I don't
Mhm,
know, man. She just don't seem like the old Keisha Cole, man. Her dating this young dude, and I don't know. I just think most, older, people trying to date younger, kind of always leading to the bad light. I'm not trying to speak on that what's going on right now, but
mhm.
I'm just
Which
saying
one? Wait, AB, which one?
with Sharp.
Oh, I didn't know you meant Tracy Ellis.
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah. One day, B, I'm telling you, we gonna start getting that bag talking about everything that's going on. I swear.
Everything social commentary
Hey,
wise.
everything, bro. Hey, I'm telling you. We go.
Hey, we going to wait. We might have to detach that from this show. I know that
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Most definitely, B.
Guys would come here for the hip hop takes only. The hip hop takes only.
Hip hop only.
But yeah, that's about it for any of the hip hop news and current events that we have going on in hip hop. Let us know what y'all have been listening to. What are y'all hyped for and stuff that y'all are happy for in the comment section down below. But now it's time to get on to the music section of the show where we actually talk about music because it seems like we're the only show that really does that. Ray Vaughn, TDE's newest slash latest artist, came out with his debut mixtape, The Good, the Bad, the Dollar Menu. Now I knew about this because I was on TDE's emailing list and they emailed me that. They emailed me a ad for the album. I'm on the emailing list because I bought something from TDE before and they just steadily email me newsletters and stuff like that. Not like I'm an insider, but if TDE, if y'all want to email me something like a new episode album, hey, I'm cool with that as well. But this is Ray Vaughn's debut mixtape. And Ray Vaughn I think has made the most noise with him and his beef, not beef, but like playful beef that he had when responding to Joey earlier this year. Ray Vaughn was putting the West Coast on his back because Kendrick was, he was hibernating like he usually does. So Ray Vaughn had to step out. And the pop out was for everybody who didn't have a daddy. That's what he said. Um but yeah, Ray Vaughn has had plenty of features on other notable TDE artists' previous projects like J Rock, I believe Isaiah Rashad as well. I think Ab Soul as well. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that. But B, is this your first time listening to Ray Vaughn? Really like that? Have you heard any of his singles before this?
I've been a long time subscriber to the TDE YouTube channel. So every time they introduce an artist, I always click, especially if I want familiar with them. And every time like Rayvon was dropping like in 2021 and stuff like that, I check out some of his songs. I'm like, yo, this kid's talented. Like I see more from him, especially like I guess character. You know what I'm saying? It's like what like when how you felt about Reason. Like I always felt that Rayvon had a little bit more than me. You know what I'm saying? So I liked his music, and I like sometimes when he step out of that, he could step out of the want to be, introspective rappity rap bag. He actually can make some fun tracks. So this is, of course, my first time actually listening to a full body project from him because I don't know if he ever put out any other EP or anything. I don't know. I'm not
I think he
familiar
put
with
up
that.
I think he put out some EPs. I'll look it up while you
Yeah.
while you talk.
But yeah, that one thing I have to do is check out those EPs that he have because I wasn't following the singles he dropped for this. So I was new to this like a week before it was coming out. Like I did not know that he was dropping singles and actually songs that's actually on the album, the mixtape, my bad. The mixtape from months ago. I didn't know. I wasn't familiar. I had to look that up today actually be like, was he actually promoting this? But I didn't see anything. So I was hip to this album, not my bad. The mixtape. I'm gonna call it a project. I was into this project last week, so
Mhm.
but I don't know. B, I want to hear your thoughts. B, I want to hear your thoughts first
You
because
want
I
to hear
know
my thoughts
you.
first?
Yeah,
Well,
I want to hear
because you
your
know I
thoughts.
what?
I know how you. You already threw shots at the man about the whole
The
the
whole
Kendrick
Kendrick being
pop
my
out
daddy
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
he
just a nasty
did.
bar. It's a thing of like intent, right? And sometimes it's all about execution. I know what your intent behind that bar was. The execution was just horrible. Don't ever call another man your daddy.
Yeah,
But
he did. But he
he
actually
didn't
didn't
literally
call
say
Kendrick
it. He
his
said the
daddy.
pop Kendrick made the pop out for guys without dads or
He
whatever.
said
But it's
I
like,
think he said the pop up did something for the people that they don't have dads or something like that.
yeah,
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 so
kind of. What's the what we need? What's the we're bringing back real hip hop term? That's what we gotta deem that term be. Bringing back real hip hop term. That was kind of fringing on that. You know what I'm saying? But this album, I mean, this mixtape is about 11 tracks. I will say this is my first time ever listening to Ray Vaughn on his own, besides the Joey disc. Going into this project, I didn't have high expectations because, like you said, I didn't know about the singles that was dropping for this. I only heard about this because of the newsletter that TDE sent me because, I bought something from their site before. But going into this project, Flocker's Remorse, I was like, all right, cool. I get it. And the one thing I have to say about this project, for me, my first listen, I didn't really enjoy it like that. And the reason I say that is because I felt like there wasn't that punch there to me. What's his name? Ray Vaughn has the introspection. He has the vulnerability, But to me, he just didn't have that punch when it came to him rapping. At least on my first initial listen. It's still kind of like that as well, but I've done about 3 listens of this project so far. Over this project, it's kind of like a thematic slash storytelling album where he has a lot of skits that tie in some of the songs or like wrap up some of the songs themselves. He's talking about like on songs Flat Shasta about his mother being, I believe, mentally ill, I believe. The struggles that he had growing up, all of his siblings being put out of the house by his mom, things like that, but him still having this love and fondness for his mother. We got Triple X LT, which is like the banger track on this project. Flocker's Remorse, him talking about robbing the store that they, casually or usually go to, that they were like, hey, no, you thinking about robbing them, but they know you. Like we go there often. Yeah, and he has some features on here which I did like, Isaiah Rashad, J Rock, and I like La Russell as well. Going into this project, like I said, the introspection is there in terms of like him being vulnerable, him talking about his personal life. He does that a lot. And that can be a bit overbearing because I'm getting to know you now. I kind of wanted the more balance of like those turn uppy tracks because, like I said, I get it. Like Flocker's Remorse, he's talking about the things that he has to do to get to the life that he's at now and some of the stuff that he did regret. I get it from that aspect, and there's nothing wrong with that because you're giving me something that it's giving me a good amount to digest. But like I said, that punch just wasn't there for me. Like I don't know if it's his performance, him vocally, voice wise. I don't know what it is. This isn't a bad project. And to me, after my third listen, I finally realized he reminds me of Meek Mill, a less punchier version of Meek Mill, where his lyrics, his lyrical ability, his performance isn't going to be crazy off the wall like that. Obviously, Meek has a lot more charisma than this dude. But in terms of like what I get from this project, this reminds me of Meek Mill. This gives me heavy Meek Mill energy. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. This is Meek Mill, but the West Coast version of it, but it doesn't have as much punch or oomph to it to me. Like I said, he is a lot more vulnerable than Meek is, but this is just this one project where he's doing all this. I need to see a bit more bodies of work. But I will say though, at times when he's getting with someone else that's West Coast, it was hard to tell him apart from the other person. Like that Laura, like the song with him and La Russell, it was hard for me to kind of tell them apart vocally because they sound a bit too similar. But besides that, I think this project was cool overall. I do like the project overall. I thought it was to me a 3.5. It has a good amount of substance in there. That's the term I was looking for, substance. It has a good amount of substance in there. I just don't know. It's just to me, it's missing that punch. It's not a bad project, but sometimes I felt like he would emulate Isaiah Rashad, or he would get an Isaiah Rashad type beat. He'll remind me of Kendrick, the way Kendrick does that little voice thing or that little flow that Kendrick does, that and thing he used to do in the blog era. This project doesn't stand out enough to me, but it is a lot more substance to what you would usually get from projects in hip hop nowadays. B, I gotta hear your thoughts so that way we can have a conversation on this.
Um, I really enjoyed this, bro. I like this a lot. Vulnerability, like I wrote some notes down, like vulnerability, the introspection, his personality, and he borrowed a lot. But I feel like he borrowed a lot from his affiliates with TDE, but I feel like he
Mhm.
still kind of made it his own because you gotta remember this is an introduction. So all the introspection, yes, it could feel like a bit like bloated, but I feel like we needed it because I actually wanted to know who he was because you hear, you just hear some people, they put out songs, they rap, but you don't really know who the artist is. And I think that's what kind of like put me away from different artists. Like not try to keep naming names, but like artists like Reason why I feel like I didn't like connect with, even though like connecting is not like a big thing for me for artists. But when I get to know you, I can kind of I felt it in his music. Like you said, you felt lack of punch. Like I think this hit with me. Like I was
I,
like
mhm.
I was like,
I was just gonna say to me, these albums are literally on the opposite spectrums. Reason didn't give me enough introspection, vulnerability. I felt like at times Ray Vaughn
oh
gave me too much. Like it
no
was
no I'm,
overbearing. It
no
wasn't bloated, but it was
no
overbearing. That was
no
my
I'm saying,
thing.
did you listen to Reason other projects though? Because this was just a one
Mm-mm,
off. The thing he put out this year was nothing really.
mm-mm. But
If
I'm
you
just
think about
comparing
it,
these two. I'm just comparing those two to each other, not them as
oh no,
artists.
I would
I'm just
no, I'm
comparing
saying
these
I
two
would.
projects.
Yeah, I wouldn't compare the two just because it was a little short EP. Reasons didn't really show. It was just like an aftermath. But like, get back to this project. Like, I really enjoy like this, like some of the storytelling, the skits. It kind of put like he was saying things. I'm like, dang, like it's just thinking about your childhood. Like he was saying how he missed being so close to his cousin, and she's doing drugs now. He just remember like looking for the remote with her with for their
At
grandma, and
grandma's
I'm like,
house.
yeah, and I'm just like, dang, it just hit me because me going through loss and stuff in life. Sometimes different things would connect with people. So just simple stuff like that. I was like, man, that's dope. I like those details. Like like when it comes to like Flat Shyster, like the creativity of like trying to compare his mom pretty much losing her mind to like a flat soda. He tried to add a little different there, and then that track right there, I'm pretty sure that was really hard to pin, bro. Because like you get vulnerable like that. Like he even said, I think on the first song on Flockers, he was like, "Yo, I don't like really getting too in depth because people like to bring up, your life. What I mean? People like to throw that in your face. I don't really like to talk about stuff like that." And this being that introduction, the good, the bad, the dollar menu, it kind of shows you, you got a little bit of good. But for me, I feel like it was a lot of downs in this. But like you can hear like how he sampled Phil from Kendrick Lamar on Dollar Menu. Remember, Ain't Nobody Praying for Me. They sampled that in the beginning of Dollar Menu, but then he switched it. Second beat was more of an
Mhm.
upbeat track.
I like that. I
So
like that.
yeah, I like that a lot. Like even when it came to Triple XL, Triple XLT, he did the same thing. More bounce. But it started off bouncy, and I get the Meek Mill references, especially from the beginning of the intro, because it gives you like this build up of like it give you Meek Mill like Meek Mill vibe. Especially, I thought the beat was gonna drop. I was waiting on the beat to
Mhm.
drop, but it's like this build he just gives you, and you have this guy like singing or whatever, and then kind of setting the tone. And but he have tracks, bro. Like he did 3 p.m. at the Dairies when I'm like, hold up, bro, what Isaiah at? Because I'm not listening
Mhm.
to track lists. I just
Remember
played
I
it.
told you. Remember I told
Yeah,
you. I
I'm
said
like,
this sounds like.
oh yeah, this
Yeah.
Isaiah right here, where he at? And then he, like I said, he borrows from people that he's around, affiliates. You know what I'm saying? But he still, to me, makes his own because he creates his own. He made his own world, like who he is. This is his story he's telling. And then he hits you with East Chat with Isaiah Rashad, like flowing into that because it's like he kind of knew, like, yeah, I gave y'all Isaiah Rashad, let me give
Mhm.
y'all Isaiah, and I was like, yo, that's dope. And then going into Clown Dance with him and J Rock, bro, J Rock on that joint. I love when J Rock just get the rapping, bro. Ray did his thing on there, but like that beat and how J Rock was on there too. Like J Rock got a really dope voice for hip hop. And look at God was dope. It was like that West Coast track with him and Lil Russell. I think he had like two verses on there. I really like this, bro. This one had me dance. I'm like, see, this is what I really liked about this project because yes, he gave you a good amount of storytelling, a good amount of introspection, but he still dabbled that, those bouncy tracks on here. And like you could say, like sometimes it's hard to balance, but I was thinking that when you said that, I was like, maybe on his next project, he'll probably give you more lighter things, show different versatility in that way. But
Mhm.
but being vulnerable and just shows who's a true artist to me. Like to actually talk about things, like you said, that substance, that what brings me into the album. And we can go into like Janky Compass, yeah, with him and what's her name, Samara Sin, Samara.
Samara Sin. I think it's Samara
Yeah,
Sin. This
I
is
love the
where
beat
he
on this.
sounds a lot like Isaiah Rashad on this one. I was like, I
Yeah, it's that.
hear Isaiah on here.
Yeah, that bag. Yeah, he got he sounded like Isaiah in this to me as well. But I like the song. Production was
Hmm.
dope. It's nothing on here I disliked.
Hmm.
And Miles Away from Heaven was dope. Like I think that's when he was like life must be what hell must be a block party. No, death must be a block party because life is
Hmm.
hard. Like
Hmm.
he was speaking on that. And then Suburban Kids was like probably my favorite track. I like how he ended it. It was really, it was like Suburban Kids, but this boy was telling some hood kid stories, bro. Like my whole family struggled from addiction. Bro was like,
Hmm.
he had one line when he goes, I got the BDBs on my neck what he say? I got the BDBs on my neck
You know I'm bad with
Mardi.
lines.
I got the BDBs on my neck like Mardi Gras. I'm trying to see how much a Holocaust or something like that. It was
Oh
some
yeah.
line goes into that. I was like, all right, bro was on here saying so he have some
Hmm.
like he rapping, bro. Like he got some stuff
Hmm.
on here. I'm like, all right, I'm rocking with the little bars. Yeah, he had one bar when he was
Hmm.
just like, I pay everything with street cred. Like it was just little
Hmm.
stuff like that he was saying. I'm like, I'm messing with it. But as a debut, I think this is probably one of my favorite albums I listened to this year, especially from someone that,
Mm.
yeah, especially from some like my favorite project, like especially from like the introspection, bro. I don't know. I tell you that I'm a sucker for like storytelling. I'm a sucker for things like this, like that,
Hmm.
getting really into like what's going on in your mind, like what got you like this, and I think he executed. He knew what he had to do. And like he got signed by them, I think in 2022, 2021. I could be wrong. I could have been 2020. And you know how TDE is. They like to develop their artists. They like to wait.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same formula. Just look at the formula from all the other artists, B. Like it's that formula. And they was probably like, hey, you gotta give us that, you gotta give us the tracks where you actually tell your story. They gotta know who you are. And I think with this right here, he's telling his story. He letting you know who he is, and he also give you, that his he show you his personality with some of the bouncy tracks, with the dollar menu track, the double XL, the look at guy. Hey B, hey, if you look at
I
my
said
thing,
I
it's
gave this a
all
3 or 3.5.
yeah.
But I agree with you because I liked all the songs. I think the thing
Yeah.
is, like I told you, to me it's too overbearing. It's like trauma dumping. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just like, I can't see myself returning to this. A lot of it because of the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And
on initial listen, like I said, it has that substance. It has that vulnerability. But in terms of
mhm.
me just wanting to jam something, this isn't what I'm going to go to for that. Not saying
Yeah.
that this is a bad thing for this, but in terms of replayability, because of that, it does lower it. And to me, it's because it doesn't have that balance like a Good Kid, Mad City or like a My Crazy Life. Those are the only two that I
Mhm.
can really compare it to as of right now, because these are all storytelling West Coast hip hop albums that we have that kind of
Mhm.
have that balance of introspection, but it also has that balance of those bouncy tracks as well. This to me was a trauma dump session, which isn't
But
bad all the way because it does have its bouncy moments here and there. But when he gives you those trauma dump situations, he's trauma dumping. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, this is heavy. This
it's
is
kind of like
very heavy.
it's it's kind of similar in the vein of like Control Systems in a way, because Control Systems is not no light album. He's on there.
He gives
Not
you those introspective tracks, but I think Absol has a perfect balance on that album as well. But that's because that album is a fully thought out
yeah,
album.
but
You know what
look,
I'm
this one,
saying?
yeah. But so like when I'm gonna give him some leeway just because this is his first debut mixtape that we
I
we we
agree.
don't have nothing else. So that's the
Uh-huh.
only reason why like the replayability for this. Usually I grade people high off this if I'm gonna go back to it, like if I'm thinking about it, but it's not gonna affect me. I think it was a good introduction. Now you got me, okay, he knows what he's doing. He's making these tracks. He
Mhm.
shows you I can make the bouncy track, but I can make the
Mhm.
introspection track. I can get in different pockets. So now his next album, I'll be expecting more from him
I
because
agree, which
I
is a
want
hard
that more.
precedent.
You know what I'm saying? I like that balance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to set the standards now because I actually just want to focus on the project, keep it out. And I think it
Mhm.
was a really good. I think this was not stellar, but I think it was just. I think it was
I think
really
it
good.
was
Like he
solid.
knew.
I think it was solid.
He knew the assignment, and I think he executed on it. And like I can't. I really don't have nothing really bad to say. Like having a critique on like saying, "Hey, yo, bro, you was getting into the trauma." You know what I'm saying? But like I understand you want us to know who you are, what you come from, and the things you deal with in life. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I understand it. I
Yeah.
get you. But
Hmm.
now on your next project, let's see what else you got. Because it's still stuff, bro. It's stuff that he brought up that he didn't even expound on. Like
Hmm.
him saying his baby mom died after giving birth to their child.
Hmm.
He can't even think about it. That's some more
But that's what I'm
stuff.
saying. But B,
He
that's what I'm
he
saying.
B
When it
he
comes to
gave
that
you
stuff, that stuff is
B
heavy. I'm
B
not
he
gonna want to
gave you a
replay that.
he gave you a piece of that. And then we could get into the voicemail from his mom. Because look, first time I heard the
Oh,
voicemail from
when
his
she was cussing him out.
First time I heard the voicemail from his mom, I'm thinking, okay, boom, yeah. My mom cussed me out all the time. Like that sounds mad familiar. Like I grew up hearing that type of talk. But she saying, I'm gonna air you out, kind of tripped me out. Like, I'm like, air
Mhm.
him out. I'm like, hey, I'm like, is that really his mom? And then I'm like, oh nah, man. And then we got into saying, like, yo, my mom actually deal with like mental issues. Like
Uh-huh.
she needs some, psych meds. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, oh, because you're like, man, look, my mom sent me this crazy message. At first, I'm like laughing, like thinking about, but I'm like, oh nah, that's a little different. She's saying airing him out. Then she pretty much was talking down on her grandkid. Like, you go take care of that baby. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dang. And like I feel for him right there, bro. And then him being, I guess more vulnerable to like put something like that out, bro. It's just that's what I'm saying. It's like he put it all on the line. Like not all of it,
Mhm.
but most of it. You know what I'm saying? Because he still got
Yeah. He
more.
put a
And
he
he
put a
he
lot.
put he
Yeah.
put a lot out here, bro. And so I think this was like when they say you got your whole life to make your first album,
Hmm.
this kind of felt that way. Like I don't know what else you can go from here but balance it out, right? And get into some details we don't know. But
Hmm.
like the stuff he told on here was just like, all right, Like this is some stuff sometimes people open up about, later on in their
Later on, the
career.
third album,
But
maybe
but
the
I
second
think he's
album.
but I think he's later on in his 20s, you know what I'm saying? Like in his later 20s. I don't know exact age, but
Hmm.
you could tell, he got 3 kids, he got 3 daughters, and it's like he actually lived life, a lot of life. So I think he just pretty much had a lot to say. And it kind of was therapy for him, I guess. But he
Hmm.
also, like I said, wanted to put out some bouncy stuff too, but you could tell that he had a lot to talk about, like the B&Es and breaking
Hmm.
entries. Uh, just I don't know, man. I liked it
Flocking.
though. The
Yeah.
flockers, bro. The flocker remorse. Like I understand it. I appreciate it, especially from a new artist and our introduction to him. Because now I'm not wondering who is Ray Vaughn. Like who is Ray? I just don't feel like I know who he is. I
Hmm.
felt like that from certain artists. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really trying to name names and compare because it's about Ray
Hmm.
Vaughn here, but
Hmm.
I think he did really well on this beat. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
for me, like I said, the two things I'm mostly lacking on here, not lacking, but it's like I said, the trauma dumping, that's gonna cause me not to want to come back to this project. That's not a
mm,
bad thing in terms of like, oh, that means I'm saying the project is bad. It's just the fact of what mood am I gonna want to be put in to listen to this whole project and
it's
listen to
it's
some of
like
the subject matter?
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
No, because I actually like this more than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, but that's besides the point.
But no, I'm saying, this is 11 tracks, but Mr. Morale gave you 2 discs of trauma dumps, right?
Oh yeah, but see the problem with Mr. Morale is it need to sound good too. At
Yeah,
least
the palette, yeah.
this sounds good. This is my
Mm-hmm.
thing. That's why I'm saying like I said we're not gonna make this about Kendrick, but he gave me a concise body of work right here. 11 tracks, I believe like 30 to 40 minutes. I could be wrong on that. He gave me some of those bounce tracks. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, when I'm looking at this Ray Vaughn guy, to me, I'm looking at him and I'm not trying to compare him to one thing to another because I know it's different. But the best way for me to compare it to someone who does not know Ray Vaughn, to me, this is the
Mm-hmm.
West Coast Meek Mill. That's the best way I could put it. Because when I heard this stuff like Flocker's Remorse, Double XLT, Dollar Menu, and some of the more introspective tracks, I got that Meek Mill energy from him. I got that same
Mm-hmm.
feeling when I was listening to Dream Chasers 1 and 2. Like, this is the same stuff that I'm getting from Ray Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the project for me is too vulnerable. That's what's going to throw me off from going back to listen to it. Is it a bad thing? No, because like I said, this project has a lot of substance in it that a lot of artists do not give out nowadays. Not a bad thing, but it's going to hinder my replayability factor for it. When you go onto my Spotify, I liked every single song because I'm like, I get
Mm-hmm.
it. The skits, and also I do want to give him credit on this one too, B. He has a billion skits in here, but none of them are overbearing. They all tie into each other, the theme and the actual story that's happening on this project right here. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, when TDE sent me that newsletter saying like, "Oh, he's really this is the best at storytelling" or some stuff like that, I'm like, "Oh, they overhyping it." When I heard the project, I'm like, I get it conceptually and thematically. I get it. I'm not mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, because there's some albums that we've heard where they try to put the skits in, and the skits just be too much. The
Yeah.
skits, they got to the point, they got you into the next song, boom. This was good music overall, especially the songs that wasn't too overbearing. Like I said, the songs were like Isaiah Rashad, J Rock,
Mm-hmm.
Russell, even J.K. Moral Compass, even though he was channeling his inner Isaiah Rashad right there, Double
Mm-hmm.
XLT, Dollar Menu, especially when you was talking about that flip. Oh, that flip beat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not the flip, but the beat
Yeah,
change.
the
I'm
B
like,
change, yeah.
and I even like Flocker's Remorse. I thought that this was a really solid
Mm-hmm.
intro for the actual album itself. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I gave this a 3.5. I think this is a very solid body of work. I put it in the middle of that range of like a My Crazy Life and a Good Kid, Mad City in terms of like another West Coast album. We got storytelling, you got some introspection, you're telling us about your life story and things like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying it's deeply in the middle, like, oh, it's half bangers and half introspection. I'm saying like if I had to put it somewhere on that moral compass, I mean not moral compass, but hip hop like album compass, I put it somewhere like in the middle. Like that's where I would put this album at
And
because
I
it does do the
oh,
storytelling.
and one thing I don't want to not talk about is like I like that he don't shy away like where he's from and have the regional sounds in there. Like, we're a big proponent of regional sounds, and I like that he
I
had his
agree.
West Coast tracks on here. So
I
I,
agree.
I respect that. I respect that, man. Keep your region on the map, man. I think we should continue to let let us know where you're from. You know what I mean? So I like that.
I agree. I completely agree. I needed the West Coast bumping songs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but like I said, the only thing for me, too overbearing. Once we come out with the album, This is going to be cool when it's spread out. When you're gonna have the more bounty tracks, the more introspective tracks, especially those songs where you're gonna go deep into like the actual details of like certain things happening, and you're gonna fully flesh out the song, fully flesh out the theme or the actual story that you're trying to
B.
tell. I don't know if he
We
is
didn't,
gonna be storytelling in the next one.
I
Go
think
ahead.
he will, but look, you gotta think about it. We didn't get the love track. We didn't get the lady track and nothing on here. We didn't get that. So I'm saying
Yeah,
he still has a lot to cover. But I just think
exactly.
that he gave you that introduction, who he is, where he
hmm
come from.
hmm
Bang. This
That's
it
what
for
I'm
my
saying with
debut
the
mixtape.
album. It's going to be one. It's going to be longer because this is a
Mhm.
mixtape, as they like to call it. It's going to be longer. It's going to be more fleshed out, and I think that balance that I'm seeking from a project like this, I'm going to get more in something like that. You get what I'm
But
saying?
yeah, and one another thing, like I think the length is a really good length, like 42 minutes. That's like a solid album for me.
hmm
But it was just the song selection and just 11 tracks because he's on here. He's giving you 3 verses on some tracks, B. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? So like even on the intro, I believe like he's rapping on here. Like I think that fills up the time. Like I said, I think he had a lot to say. He had a lot to get out. He used this as therapy. So and with the album and also the skits being not separate and also being a part of the songs also put more on the time as well. But I think
hmm
with the album he will probably like you said it'd be more balanced and like fleshed out a little more and then kind of have you
hmm
like more diversity in song I guess arrangements, you know what I'm saying?
And
So
selection.
and
hmm
selections, yeah. So because this
Yeah.
was in the vein is kind of similar in the more in the same samey bag, but to me like you said it's not a bad thing, but
hmm
it could be over,
And
you know.
he on some stuff he does wear his influences on his sleeve. Like I said, that one song, like Jake Moral Compass, or that other song, like you said, 3 p.m. at Dairies.
Mhm.
It sounds like Isaiah Rashad. Like I'm like, okay, this is the
Mhm.
Isaiah Rashad type beat. This is the type of Isaiah Rashad type flow,
Mhm.
which isn't bad because that's your label mate. But
Yeah.
also, like I said, that's where certain things sometimes where you're lacking that punch for me. Not
Hmm.
saying it's a well, it's not a good thing, but I just I want to see how he grows as an artist, basically, because this stepping stone right here, you gave me a lot of trauma. Now the next project, you're most likely gonna have to balance that trauma with more up tempo, bouncy like tracks. Because I see that you could give them to me on here. Pause.
Hmm.
I see that you gave these songs to me on here. I guess I'm trying to see where will he go from here because you gave me a lot of introspection on here, even though it wasn't super introspective, a lot of vulnerability on here. Where's the next step after this? Because
Hmm.
now that I'm looking at the timeline, like you said, 40 something minutes. I believe projects like a 9059 was like 40 minutes, B.
Hmm.
I was like, where do we go from here?
Yeah. No, he got me excited, B. I'm
I'm
looking forward.
anticipating the next project.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
we gonna put the next
anticipating
one in
this
the
thing.
chamber, B?
Of course. Because hey, he has a positive review from us. We both like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we have some critiques, but like, we
They not
we
bad to
like
where I'm not to listen to it. That's
nah,
what it is.
nah. I recommend people to check this project out. I don't see many
Mhm,
people talking about it.
mhm,
I think some people talk about. I think this is a really good introduction to a
mhm.
new artist, especially as a debut mixtape, man. And one thing, he shout out to Tiki Punch. Tiki Punch is still one of my favorite drinks of all time. You know, go to your local Family Dollar and get you one. Fire, blue can, gotta get your Tiki Punch, bro. He said flash ice. I'm like, oh no. I know he better shout out this Tiki. Don't get the root beer. You gotta get that Tiki. I don't know if you know anything about the Tiki Punch, B. Yeah, come on. That Tiki Punch.
But I
Hey,
haven't. Come on, I haven't drunk juice out of a can, and I don't know how long though.
yeah, but that's that soda though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
that takes a little. Hey, B, I'm going to go get some. I don't drink soda like that, but hey,
You,
Tiki Punch. You say what?
I don't drink it at all. So
Dr. Pepper's my one of my favorites. So sometimes if I get a chance to swig on a DP, I'm gonna do it. I love that DP, bro.
why? Like I said, the good, the bad, the dollar menu. Let us know if y'all listen to it. Let us know if you're gonna check it out. One of the more introspective and one of the more personable albums projects that we have
Mhm.
gotten this year. And this is one of TDE's newer artists. So now they're trying to get the ball rolling on Ray Vaughn. Let's see where this goes, especially with the year and this coming out so early on. Let's see where the rest of this year actually goes for Ray Vaughn. But yeah, let us know if y'all
Shout
listen to this down in the comment section down below.
shout out Rayvon, man. Dope project, bro.
Yeah, you will. Your next album, we are anticipating it, and we'll be seeing it in the chamber.
Yes,
But
sir.
it's time to get onto the hip hop discussions, B. But before we get into that, what's up with this 100 Negroes taking on one gorilla, B?
Oh, but you
You
want to get
told me
into the
you
real? You
DM'd
want to
me.
get it? But you want to get into
Yeah,
the real juice, the real meat and potatoes of the
yeah,
pod?
facts. Yes. Hey, B, 100 gorillas versus King Von.
Hey, King Vaughn, man, I don't know, bro. It's a run for his money, bro. I don't know. R.I.P. Vaughn. He go. Hey, and is this you know life after death Vaughn or is this, or this, let me stop.
Ready to
He'll
die,
have some.
bud.
Hey, he'll have some powers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He'll be like Resident Evil Vaughn, right? But but no, B, I just thought this was like it's like I think once a year, it's like a random nigga topic that pops up on Twitter. Sometimes it's more than once. But I think 100, 100 niggas versus a gorilla is one of those like nigga Navy type. You
Uh-huh.
remember nigga Navy? Like,
Uh-huh. No,
so
you
I
know what
started,
this reminds me of? What if Dragon Ball Z took place in New York?
yeah,
That was the one I think last year, the year before. Boy, those had me
like,
dying.
like it'd be so funny. So I was thinking, I'm like, bro, like if we assemble a team, B, like we got to get our best and we got to have them in like waves or something.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We can't all send out the 100 niggas. We gotta let like 10 go. We gotta have like 10 waves. We gotta let
Mhm.
10 niggas go and see if the gorilla could take out. You know what I'm saying? We can't send us all because you know what I mean. Some of
We
us
gonna
gonna
be
die
getting in each other's
regardless.
way. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So we need to send them out in waves. And I think each wave need to have their own like special abilities. I actually, you know what
What
I'm
is this?
saying?
Black Ops where you play as
Yeah,
zombies?
like I'm just saying, like you gotta have like you gotta have your tank. You gotta have, you know what I mean? Just think about it.
You
You
gotta have your
gotta
support slash healer.
Yeah, like each wave gotta have like 10 people that have at least double or the same ability, but like across the board. Like everybody got like we gotta have Brock Lesnar with like Russell Westbrook because he has
Then
so much energy.
Chris Benoit in there or something.
You say what?
Didn't they say they gotta have Chris Benoit? Is that the wrestler
Chris
name?
Chris Benoit, bro. RP
Oh,
Chris
man.
Benoit, bro. Wait, is this Chris Benoit on the steroids or just off the we need him on the meds. You know what I'm saying? But it's Chris
Nah, B, you
Benoit.
know the video game where you press up to get that power up, that power boost? That's his power boost, B.
Bro, if we had Kimbo Slice, I saw a tweet about Kimbo Slice. Hey, yo, he would have been one for the that we had to put in the waves, bro. But
Mhm.
Brock Lesnar, we got great Khali. We gotta have like a lot of wrestlers that gotta go into this, bro.
The
I'm
Rock.
thinking we send out a wrestler in each wave.
I
Mark
mean, we can put
Henry,
go ahead and
Big
put John
Show.
Cena in there. Hey, he just
Nah,
does this. He goes invisible, B. Gorilla will never see him coming. Pause.
nah, but who is one person you think will help in the 100 niggas versus a gorilla, bro?
Wrestler or anyone?
Not anybody.
Hmm.
You haven't thought about it?
I gotta think about it. I,
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 I
I
think we
gotta
need
think about this one.
I think NBA YoungBoy got to be a part of it.
Nah, he too lanky, B. He gonna get ripped
No,
apart. He gonna look
but you
like a
remember
noobs.
you remember the NBA YoungBoy memes, like how they like, oh, this how NBA YoungBoy fans jump for fits and all that. We
This how
need some,
NBA young boy fans watch
it's,
TV.
yeah, we need and eat their cereal. We need one of them type of characters out there to wave, B. Because you also got to understand this is a good way to get some of like I know some of them we using this probably like passed away. Remember what Dr. Umar said? Some of these niggas gotta die. It's like
Yeah.
this is
Oh, no,
this
need to
this
go to sleep
yeah,
for good.
yeah. This would be a perfect time to like, lean them over there like, hey yo, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we need you for the wave. We gonna have we gonna have like what's her name? Mia Wallace. What's her name? Not Mia
Mia
Wallace.
Wallace. Mia Wallace.
The lady that assembled the Suicide Squad.
Oh, Amanda Waller.
We're gonna need Amanda Waller and like a Nick Fury type nigga to like assemble the whole
Put
100.
together the
Put
Suicide
together
Squad,
the
the
way.
Thunderbolts.
Yes. That's what we gonna need. We need this because B, this is the Suicide Squad. Like this is a suicide mission.
The first two rounds are
B,
yes.
we can't send none of our good niggas out here. We need all the bad, like the bad. We was like, oh yo, if you live, it's cool, but if you die, you know what I'm saying? We all
Like
right.
you won't
You
be
know what I'm saying?
missed.
You won't be, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the way we should do it. Like This is a
Oh my
suicide mission, you know
God.
what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just thought that was a really fun topic, bro. I was like,
Did you
that's
see that photo
crazy.
of that one person of all those people surrounding the gorilla, and people
Oh,
circled one of them and said the stories they'll tell about that first one, right?
bro, it was funny when people was like, yo, the what the gorilla when the gorilla kill everybody and just leave one alive to tell the story.
And it has Caesar whispering it to go
Yeah, yeah,
tell them.
yeah. That's definitely gonna happen, bro. And you ever saw the meme with the gorilla was just looking around like this, and it had to like
Oh,
beat playing? Yeah,
oh,
yeah. Oh, B, you know what I thought about? Like, yo, we gotta drop. Remember, I'm dropping dick off.
oh yeah. Shabba-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. They not
That's what
gonna
he gonna
get
be.
it, B. They not gonna get
Hey, they ain't gonna get it, B.
it. It's for
That's what
us,
he gonna.
B. It's time for us. Oh my god.
That's what the gorilla gonna be doing, bro.
We just gonna give him the keyboard, B? Oh my god.
Oh nah, bro. That was a funny one, bro. Like it's so crazy that we just think of the wildest stuff and just tweet it out and it goes viral. Bro just
Right.
randomly said 100 niggas can beat a gorilla. And it became a whole thing, bro. Like that's so funny.
Yeah, I know Daily Node. Is that their name? Daily Node, the one that's like Daily Loud, but a parody account. They said Kevin Gates said he could clone him 100 times and they could all take on the gorillas. I'm like,
Nah, it's a rap. Hey, Kevin Gates, he one of the ones that should be on the suicide mission, B.
hey, what is he? He said, "Hey, I blew all my hands. I put my can on that battery. Hey, I said, don't speak nothing of it."
Yeah. Kevin Gates is a clown,
Hey,
bro.
B, would you
I
put Myron Gaines up there?
Oh, Meyer can go out there. Hey, we should clone 100 Myrons and just sit them out there, bro.
Well,
Hey,
no, it'll just make the gorilla misogynist. B, come on, that's all it'll do. They might
hey,
agree
bro.
more than they actually fight
You saw him on the campus be
on that college
debating like
campus.
college.
Yeah.
Meyer is stupid, bro. Is he still? I saw Fresh got his own little thing. Are they not together no more? Or are they just Fresh doing his own little stuff?
I have
You
no
don't know?
idea. They probably like
Yeah,
doing like marketing outside of each other. I have no
yeah,
idea though.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
and I know Sneako's doing something where he's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to. You guys aren't into art or whatever." You know, people's
yeah,
criticizing Sneako for that. Like, dude, look at the audience that you've amassed. Like, how are you
yeah.
surprised?
He's trying to go back to his, I guess, how he
His
used
old
to be.
ways.
Yeah,
Yeah, before he went on
the red
playbacks.
pill. He's on
Nah,
the
before
red
he
pill,
went
right?
on. Nah, I think what happened, the turn happened when he went on Low and Agents podcast.
Mhm. Oh,
That's
and he
where the
talked
turn
about
happened.
letting his woman get smacked
Yeah,
out. They
them
was like,
going to that swingers
yo,
party. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I
He
think
should
that's
have
where the
just.
actual turn really happened.
This is when
That and when
Sneeko
he got
turned.
invited on the Fresh and Fit for the first time.
It
I
was
was
at
like, yeah,
this
it's a
moment.
wrap for him.
It was at this moment. He knew he effed
He
up or
effed
whatever they
up.
go. Yeah, but yeah, man.
Facts.
I don't. But just to answer the question, B, I think 100 niggas can get a gorilla. Like, could we have weapons or like, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
no weapons. Y'all are putting the barren wasteland, no weapons, no environment to where y'all can hide or anything like that. Just you, I mean, 100 Negroes, a
No
gorilla.
terrain.
Like, no, I mean, like you on dirt, I guess. I don't know, like maybe grass, but there's no trees or nothing around. So it's not like he could break off a
Hey,
log and start swinging it at y'all. Cause he taking 10 of
hey,
y'all out. He's swinging a whole tree at y'all.
it's gonna be ways we gonna manipulate that dirt. I'm gonna throw it in his face. I'm gonna do something. You know what I'm saying?
Did you
Bro
see
gonna
the
be
one
it's
where it
gonna,
said y'all really go? They said that all's going to end when they start throwing Dookie out. The girl
oh,
starts throwing Dookie. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm out. I'm out. Dog.
I'm out,
I think
bro.
that was Freddie
See that?
Gibbs. Because did you see the meme with Freddie Gibbs? Like, oh,
Uh-uh.
Freddie can see the jump coming and he can see the enemy coming at the same time. Because it was an image of Freddie being cross-eyed. I'm like,
Oh,
come on.
in that power episode.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh, that's a fun
oh,
topic, man. We can move on. We can move on. The gorilla gonna take us out.
nah, not if 100 of us going all at once. That's about to be like Naruto, the shadow clone jutsu right there. But let's see. B, I think I want to talk about the TDE topic. We gotta
Okay,
talk
let's get
about it
into it.
because we had this topic up that kind of like came up between this show and last episode. Absol tweeted, so according to the numbers slash analytics or whatever the F, a tour for me has yet to be finalized. Soulburger, which is his album that we reviewed, make sure you go check out that review out, and we actually both liked it, dropped last
Mhm.
November. I'm not pointing any fingers, But dang, I feel like that was some of my best work. I highly disagree, but let's keep going. Some things in the water for show. This feels similar to the end of physical distribution, which ultimately resulted in the fall of my family owned record store, Magic Disc Music. I suppose I say all this to apologize for the delay to anyone who anticipates seeing it performed live. I do hope to see you soon. Now, B, this is like a number one, like, this is like a top tier 101 class session and gaslighting and manipulation right here. This is crazy right here, B. B, you know Absol's one of my favorite artists, especially from the blog era.
Mm,
This is crazy manipulation tactics right here. He did not just say this. This is crazy. I'm
he
not trying to point
did.
fingers, but he's
It
like,
was
hey,
kind of
this feels
sad.
like the downfall of like physical media. Like, what are we talking about,
It
Absol?
was it was kind of sad though to see him tweet this, bro. Because it was sad when he tweeted the other stuff last year as well about the
I
album.
agree. I was literally about to say that.
And I'm like, man, Ab, it's like so you could tell that it's something like even in his interview, he talked about like he tried to do, what he's not, used to doing is like trying to make a banger, trying to, he tried. So I think I think he genuinely feel like this is his best work because he did something that he's not, used to doing. Clever with Ty Dolla Signs, you know what I'm saying? Like he stepped out of his zone and he tried to create, something like actually bringing someone, making the concept of bringing someone he loves into it as well, that he lost and wanted to make something that he probably would have liked. I don't know, man. It's sad. I understand the gaslighting and the manipulation, but it just sucks seeing Absol tweet like this because I feel like he don't feel.
Loved,
It seems like he don't feel loved, or he's like
listened to,
not
shelved,
listened to. Yeah, he's like the. It's the word I'm looking for.
has
He's
been.
a black. No, no. God damn it, B. No, I'm saying he's like the
B, I'm
black
being
sheep,
real over here, god dang
but
it.
he's like the black sheep of like TDE, man. You know what I'm saying? When you think about the core of TDE, like yeah, you're not comparing him to Ray Vaughn, but I'm just saying if you think about the core of TDE, like
You gotta talk about the big
the top,
four.
the
The big
top
four.
six, the
Okay,
top,
Isaiah Rashad
all
and SZA.
yeah, all seven.
Okay,
If you think
okay.
about Sir,
Sir.
you know what I'm saying. So it's like if you think about it, he is a part of like the forefront of like TDE in the beginning, like you say, the big four, the guys that actually was the foundation. Besides, I'm pretty sure it was stuff underneath that, but I'm talking about that actually put him on the map. Um, it just sucks to see him tweeting like this because Absol is the guy that's don't say much. He say a lot in his rounds, but like it's TDE. Like it's TDE. Like he ends like verses with that, and it's kind of feel like is he going at TDE here? Is he having some
So
stuff going on in the
he
background
has a
with his
second tweet
label?
that he followed us up with. To be clear, that was not a jab at my team in any way. Either the game is changing, in quotes, as it does and will always, end quotes, or I just didn't connect creatively. Nonetheless, I can adapt. I'm still working, still blessed, still motivated. Church on the move with a church emoji.
Yeah, yeah, but
Um,
him look, but him having to tweet that afterwards is like it's a shot at the label, bro. Who else told you that? How else
well,
you get
B,
that?
someone in the comments said that Top blew your budget on Dochi's BBL, my Negro. That
Come
B,
on, bro.
B, I saw that comment. B, I died laughing. That is the funniest ish ever. B, B, you know this one of my favorite artists. When it comes to the slang and the jokes, I can take the jokes, man. That was hilarious when he said that. I'm like, yo. B, it
Hey,
was the most liked tweet under his comment. B,
it's a good BBL too, though. It's a good BBL, bro. I thought it was natural.
hey, they say we
But like,
can't go over the top with this. We still got to make it marketable.
but in all seriousness, man, I
Mhm.
know I actually replied to like what Jeremy Heck had something to say about it. With him talking about, continue to push your album, I agree with that, but it's like you gotta understand like who an artist is. Like you gotta understand like where's the push. Like I don't think that money will be pushed marketing wise to Absol like that because look who the label is, they working on right now. They working on Doechii, and like Doechii is more accessible. Even with even with Ab doing quote unquote a more accessible album, you could listen to it and it's still not more accessible. Like
Mhm.
because you still have those Ab-Soul moments. You start the freaking album off, rap it on a freaking 8 Mile, like you know what I'm saying, like sampling that and
You
sampling what's that?
early intro? Grady.
Huh? I'll be ready. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's kind of, which is fire. I loved it.
I agree.
You was rapping your butt off, but it's like apps. It's just like, damn. It's like, man, I don't know how to help because when it comes to managing uh tours and budgeting, yeah, I went to school for it, and we had to do assignments about like tour management and like sales and numbers. I don't know how Ab-Soul can't have a little tour. Not even it's artists, independent artists that's not even on a label like TDE that do tours yearly, that have their core fan base. And I think Ab-Soul can get a 250 people at a venue easily and do a good venue, a good show, a good tour. I don't know. I don't see how he can't do a tour though. That kind of threw me off. Like I don't know. I don't know. I think he could do a tour just based, not even just off this album, as his fan base. You don't think he could do a little tour beat?
I don't think a tour is in like at a venue like the Dallas what is it? The Dallas what is that venue in Dallas? I think he'd have to do something that's a bit more intimate, but I hate to say it like this, B. I really hate to say it like this. He did like what, 5K on Soul
Yeah,
Burger? B.
yeah,
I don't think the interest is there for Ab-Soul anymore. I think the problem with Ab-Soul is that he has too many gaps in his discography. From Do What Thou Wilt to Herbert,
yeah.
big gap. From Herbert to this, which is a different sound, because Herbert was the comeback album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got Ab Soul back. We got now Soul Burger. This
Mm-hmm.
is a way different album. And I'm gonna be real with you, B.
Mm-hmm.
One, Ab Soul, he's not out there feature wise like that. He's not keeping his own name relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is he wasn't doing the work around the album. Because you obviously gotta do the album, right? Duh, you gotta do the
Mm-hmm.
album. But it's the work around the album. Because B, without you knowing who Dough Burger is, without you knowing the context because you're an Ab Soul fan, how am I supposed to know that this is supposed to be a concept album?
Yeah. I was actually trying to.
Interviews ain't looked at like that no more. So
That's
most
true.
likely people saw a new Ab Soul thing. We gotta remember these blog sites on Twitter, like NFR, Kirkos, and all them, they're the new things that people go to, not for news on hip hop. They're not posting about Ab Soul. So when you first hear a Ab Soul album, which they most likely did not promote, you probably saw someone else on Twitter that's a hip hop head say, "Oh, Ab Soul came out with a new album." You went to go listen to it, and you like, "What the f is Ab on?" Like he's doing a song with
Mm-hmm.
Ty Dolla Sign, like you just said. Especially if you're not looking at if you're not looking at these newer media outlets like DJ Head's Effective Immediately, you're not gonna know that he did an interview and why he's talking the way he is on that album. I think the problem is everything around the album. Absol wasn't doing his runarounds around the album. Schoolboy Q did that with Blue Lips, albeit Schoolboy Q is a bigger artist than Absol. Schoolboy Q was doing the rounds. He was on Twitter heavily. He was doing the interviews. He was interacting with people. Absol just thought he could just drop something into the void and thought that it was going to make some noise. That's the problem. He
Yeah.
wasn't doing the
And
work around it. Now I know him. We could talk about him and Dochi's marketing being different because in the meantime, while you was talking, I was trying to look for the reply that you had to Jeremy Hecht about that because he was like, "Yeah, you should keep promoting your album. Cream rises to the top." I wanted to tell Jeremy, stop lying. We need to start
Mhm.
being real with these artists. Cream does not always rise to the top. Absol is one of the best artists that we had coming out of the blog era. Control System is one of the best albums that we had coming out of the blog era. But when we talk about top 10 projects on the blog era, a lot of people ain't gonna have Control System in there.
But my thing if about Ab Soul, he was kind of foreshadowing this. Like he knew this was coming because he talked about the hits. He wanted to make a song. He wanted to make some songs that could get some traction. Because look, I'm looking at the TDE tours. You got Kendrick and
Mm-hmm,
SZA.
mm-hmm,
Then Schoolboy Q going on another tour in May called Blue
mm-hmm.
Lips, got new songs tour. And then Sir has his tour starting May, the Steps into the Light tour. Like Sir album is cool. I don't know how much it sold, but I don't know if it's always like this spot for like artists like Sir with the R&B. It's like
I think there
I feel like
is.
yeah, I think they all share like the same kind of like crowd. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta look at Schoolboy Q, right? Q have those. He has bodies of work and he has hit songs that can always, carry him into a tour and people want to see him. And Ab Soul was speaking on. He was like, why I didn't perform at the pop out? I didn't have that hit. J Rock got to perform. Schoolboy got to perform. Kendrick, obviously. But me, I had nothing to play. And I was just like,
No, he
that's
should
what
have
made me
played. He
what?
should have played. He literally has a song he could have played. The song off of GTA, which is off of Control System. Illuminate, featuring Kendrick Lamar. Shine, shine, shine,
I know
shine.
the
Give me
song,
the
but
light.
it's
That's the one
but
song he could have played. I'm not saying that's a hit, but he
but
could have
B,
played that.
but I'm just saying you gotta have look what J Rock played.
Oh, when?
When that's gonna get
That's
the
unfair though. Yeah,
I'm just saying you gotta look what Q played. Collard Greens was huge. Like you gotta look at the compare those songs to that song, bro. It's
you're
just
right. You're right. You're
it's
right.
different. And he
You're
talked
right.
about it.
I
And
agree.
and he was talking about it. And I didn't want to feel bad for Ab because we love Ab Soul. He's like your rapper's favorite rapper. Like he's that guy. And he don't have those singles like that, but it's just still just it's you
Bodies of
could
work,
tell,
man.
yeah, you could tell like when it comes to someone, when you look at your peers and you're like, damn, I want that too. Like, yeah, I am the rapidy rap guy, but I want to dabble in that as well. It's just hard, bro. And then you got SZA, you got Sir had a moment with a track. It's just I feel bad for him. And I feel like he tried. I don't know if I mentioned this in the review, but I thought he tried to do the whole secular stuff with these days because it felt like he had some stuff like Rick Ross. I didn't go back to these days as much, but it felt like more like out of his element in certain points with these days.
It did, but it still had those heady ab soul moments that for I think the problem is this B. All of Black Hippie, the roster
Hmm.
wise, their projects are a lot more accessible than Ab Soul's. Ab
Hmm.
Soul is that niche artist. Like he helped Kendrick become a better rapper. People don't
Hmm.
know that though. So I think the thing is, I think he has not mastered the art of being easily accessible music wise, but also giving you that jam. For example, Lupe is a perfect example of that for me. At
Hmm.
least the first two album Lupe, with Food and Liquor and the Cool. Perfect
Hmm.
example of that. He's giving you the medicine within the candy. I mean, yeah, he's giving you the medicine in the candy. Absol has not mastered that. To me, he's more on that range, and it's hard for me to say. To me, he's more on that range of like the Immortal Techniques. Like he's closer to that than he is a Kendrick Lamar.
That's true though. I understand. That's what I'm saying. He's like your rapper, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Like
Mhm.
that's like the lane he's in, and I think he's typecast, and he kind of want to get out of that. But I think if he wanted to do that, I know he deal with a lot of personal stuff that went on in his life, and I can't like, put that towards him. But I understand that it's hard sometimes going through things and actually produce some art. And I just wish that I don't know. I just wish he had that moment, be like that one song. You know, like you sometimes you forget how Schoolboy Q had moments, bro. Like he has multiple. That part, like I forget that him and Kanye had that. That joint was
No,
that
I
was
didn't.
crazy.
It's
And
fire.
I'm just saying, like I forget how big that song was. You just like
Studio.
dang studio and, and Absol never got that moment. He
He
never
never
got
got a
that.
hood gonna love it. He never got a win-win-win.
He didn't get that, and it's just I don't know.
I think the thing is, I just think that I think there's no interest for Absol anymore. The stocks are at its lowest that it can be for Absol. The stocks bumped up because Herbert came out, and we wanted to hear where Absol has been. But after that, it's like
And
B
I think
5K. He sold 5K. We not the numbers cast, but B we know streams does not dictate quality. It dictates interest.
I
No one
think
was
I
interested in the Absol album.
I think Ab should change his market in a way of like I think he should. You see the whole teaser of him like being with like Rock Marciano or something,
Mm-mm.
like him and Rock Marciano like working on something. I think Ab need to get into that bag. He needs to more collaborate with the Rock Marcianos because
With the
he
static
has
selectors and stuff
yeah
like
like
that.
yeah like Ab Soul could reach out. He's on J Cole last album. Like Ab Soul has he has those type of ties because he came up with those guys right. Like he
Hmm.
can get a Jid. He you know what I mean. he could get in contact with like a Ty Dolla Signs, but I think he should dial back. It's kind of like what Earl Sweatshirt did. Like Earl went a different lane. I think Ab Soul should do the same thing. I think Ab should be linked. Like, yeah, he linked with Daylight, but I think he should be linked with like West Side Gun, Rock Marciano, Rome Streets. He need to link with them underground cats and kind of grab that audience, which they know who Ab Soul is because they familiar with TDE, of course, and Ab Soul's a rapper. But I think he should kind of stay in that lane and stop trying to be, because I think he could be successful taking that not that traditional independent route with kind of integrating himself into that part of hip hop. I think he'll do really well in that. I could be wrong, but from my outlook of like those type of rhymers and the type of crowds that them people get and they tour, you know what I'm saying? I think he can do it. Look what Ransom doing. Like,
So do you
these
think
guys are touring, bro. They
so?
doing shows.
So B, do you think that Absol could get an Alchemist stimulus package? You think that'll bump
Bro,
him
yeah.
up?
Bro, him and Al could, bro. And
No, no, we
he
know it'll
has,
be fire. I'm not questioning the
yeah.
quality, but I'm questioning in terms of like
He
the looks in the not
excuse me.
mainstream, but like in hip hop head circles and Twitter and stuff like that. How much of a bump do you think that will give him with the Alchemist stimulus package?
I think that'll help a lot, bro.
Him
I
because
think
him
he
getting a
should
whole project with him or Static Selector. I'm cool with Static Selector as well. I
picture
don't
if
think there's
Av
much of a name on Static Selector like an Alchemist though.
picture Av like just get into the in the booth with Alchemist, get in the studio with Alchemist. And then he also can pull in, even though Schoolboy Q already worked with Al, but he can get a Q, he can get a J Rock on Al.
Freddie.
He can, and I'm Freddie, like he can. I think it'll work more if he get into that lane. But I think he want he wants some mainstream success. And I think it's gets to a point where he kind of like was nonchalant to it and trying to ignore it, like I'm gonna be me. That it's getting to a point where like that's really what he wants, but he don't want to admit it. But I think he should just dial back and just kind of fall back and not fall back in the way of like, oh, you're going down, but just be you. But also, it's so many guys that cater to like the style of rap you got. A lot of people that raps and love the rap, bro, that you can just link up with. And I think it'll be dope for him. I think it'll help I think it'll boost his career.
Hmm.
Because he
I
he will
agree.
have, I think it will, but I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. And I'm up,
I hate to be like this, B. I think I know what he needs.
what he needs be.
He needs that Kendrick feature.
The K dot.
He needs that K dot stimulus right now. Because B, think
When
about it
last
like this. He gets that Kendrick stimulus. He gets the Kendrick feature. First thing people gonna type up. You know NFR and Coco and them gonna post that feature. You know they're
Yeah.
gonna post it on their stuff. That's gonna give it that instant boost. Especially with how hot Kendrick Lamar is right now. And then hearing these two on a track together, hopefully
Mm-hmm.
sparring going back and forth, kind of like how they did on Pie with him, Daylight, and J. Cole, doing something like that. Oh, B. Oh, B. We would have talks of like song of the year at the top of the year if that
When the
type of
last
thing would
time
have come out.
when the last time him and Kendrick, okay, Kendrick was on the, oh,
Black
he
Lip
had an
Bastard,
interlude, but he had an
right?
interlude on These Days. Kendrick
Okay.
did. I remember that. But I don't think they actually had a song together in a while.
Yeah, I don't think they have since Control System.
Yeah.
Because Absol was, I hate to say it like this, Absol was never on a Kendrick album. Mixtapes, but not an album.
Not an album. Hmm.
Schoolboy Q has been on a Kendrick album, I think.
J Rock.
J Rock definitely has. Absol's the only one.
Have Q been on this
I,
Kendrick album?
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think so.
Kendrick has been on the Schoolboy Q album though.
Of course. He been on all day albums.
I'm trying to think. Maybe Schoolboy Q hasn't, but I think Schoolboy Q has gotten enough songs and radio play to not need, even though
Yeah,
one of the songs that he has
but I
with
don't think
is with Kendrick.
Q never was on the Kendrick album. He been on
Okay,
Overly Dedicated.
yeah,
He
and I
had the
think
remix.
Absol was
They had the
on Section
remix.
80.
They had the remix to what was it?
Black
What's
Lip
that Kendrick
Bastard.
song? Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
It
That's
was a
high
Kendrick
power
song,
or
right?
high power, right?
Dang, I'm thinking of something later than that. I could be wrong. No, they did a remix.
Oh,
They
the
did
recipe. That was
yeah.
on the Good Kid, Mad City bonus
Mhm.
deluxe or
Yeah,
whatever,
that
but we don't
was.
count that
Yeah.
though.
Right.
But
But
yeah,
they did do a freestyle. Remember the Black Hippie freestyle or something they did like
and
in
the Black Hippie
2014?
and the Black Hippie mixtape.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Not that, not the mixtape, but they did after
Oh, you talking
like
about the
the Pimp a
cipher?
Butterfly.
The cipher?
Nah, before the Pimp a Butterfly came out, afterwards they had like a little song. They rapped off somebody else's beat. What was
It
it?
wasn't that J. Cole song, right?
No,
It was all right.
did they do
No,
a
no.
that part, Black Hippie that part remix? Am I
Oh, they
bugging?
did. They did. They
Yeah, they
did.
did. That's the last thing I remember them all them doing together.
No. Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. B. 90059.
What?
Vice City.
Oh, they was on that
They was
song.
on
They was on
900
that.
J. Yeah, they was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Look at us reminiscing about Black Hippie, man.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
crazy.
besides that though, I think Absol needs that Kendrick feature. He needs that Kendrick stimulus. I need people to put some respect on my goddamn boy's name. I listen to Soul Burger. You listen to Soul Burger. I would have
Yeah.
pre-ordered the vinyl if I could have, even though it's sold out now. But we need to start putting some respect on Absol's name. But Absol, we need to take the Twitter away from him because every time he posts something on Twitter, people start clowning him. You saw what he said about Drake last year. People are starting to use that now against Absol. I'm like,
What he say about Drake?
he was like, "Oh, if Drake is the MC that he really is or should be, he could bounce back from this." People keep using that against Absol now. If
Oh,
Absol
yeah,
really
yeah.
is the MC that he claims to be, he could easily bounce back from this. I'm like, no, no. They're using your own card against you.
Hey,
B,
bro.
B, every time I see it, I laugh, but it hurts. It's so
Yeah.
painful, B.
Because Av got like over 1 million some followers on like Twitter, right?
He has
Or
one
am I
million
bugging?
followers on Twitter.
Yeah, like people know who Av Soul is. Like, I'm not trying to use
Nah,
Twitter
they
as a
probably,
metric.
but also we got to remember,
He used to
we
be
don't
more
know what he
active. They
gained
was, yeah,
exactly, but we
they used
also
to be
don't know
way
how
more.
much he gained over the Kendrick and Drake beef.
But now he been Av Soul been had a lot of people, bro.
Oh, okay, see,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
but
nah,
yeah,
man. I don't know. I just it hurts me, bro, to see Av Soul do that.
I just hate how people just don't respect Absol anymore. B, every time I feel like I'm always on Twitter every week. This is the same man that made Control System. Stop it.
He gave us Jesus walks. They talking about this for Kanye, huh?
Facts. Look, was it but he made Graduation though. That's me with Absol, but he made Control System. B, I'm
Oh my
sorry,
god.
man. I just hate to see one of my favorites done like this, man. We had to have a
Yeah.
talk about this though, because I know Troy made some videos about how TDE's been moving weird and stuff like that. Shout out to Troy for that. Y'all make sure
I
y'all check
didn't
out his.
I didn't watch Troy video. I need to check it out.
Yeah, he made a video
Yeah,
of this Ab Soul thing, but he also made a video about TDE moving weird and stuff like that,
okay.
or how TDE has been on the downfall. But yeah, y'all let us know what y'all think about this Ab Soul tweet and all that down in the comment section down below. B, what's the next topic you would like to get into?
I like to get into the Rage Not Hip Hop. What's the new the trap is a
Is
hip hop
rage not hip
conversation.
hop the new trap isn't hip hop conversation?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
Culture United happened again over on the Company Man's channel. Make sure you go check it out. And
Hmm.
they had Glasses Malone and Wayno on there, which I'm like, all right, cool. Wayno being the more level-headed, fair-based one,
Hmm.
well, Glasses Malone, we know what he does. Basically Glasses Malone was saying like people like Travis Scott, Playboy Cardi, Uzi, and all of them, they're not hip hop. Like that's not hip hop. Let's stop classifying that as hip hop. That's more so rock. And to me, I'm just like, the whole rage sound that's happening with, Playboy Cardi and Opium and all of Destroy Lonely, Ken Carson's, all that type of stuff. He's saying, let's stop labeling these kids as hip hop and start putting them like as rock. And to me, he's like, that's not hip hop. That's not rap or whatever. Yada, 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 woo, woo, woo. And I'm just in my head, I'm listening to this. And like I said, I recently listened to Gucci Man's Trap God 1 and 2. He says, well, if I ain't hip hop or something like that, he said something like, if trap ain't hip hop, then I guess I'm not hip hop or whatever. And
Hmm.
Pimp C has gone on record before saying like, "Oh, if y'all don't count Southern hip hop as hip hop, we gonna call ourselves real country rap tunes. Let's put your album and country rap tunes on the same shelf in the stores. Let's see who sells out more. Stuff like that." So
Hmm.
I thought this is bringing this conversation back up, as in like taking a subgenre or section out of hip hop because you don't want to classify it as hip hop. I thought it was an interesting conversation, but it's a conversation I feel like we've, not me and you personally have had before, but we as a collective in hip hop have had numerous times. And to me, this is just very reminiscent to me of the whole trap isn't hip hop conversation. So B, I wanted to hear your take. Did you get to watch the video or anything? I haven't watched the
Yeah,
video since I put it in the notes.
it's crazy. I watched the video and I was like, let me put this in the notes. I swear to God, you put it in the notes. I remember,
Mm.
I swear I looked, I'm like, I was just about to put this in here. But
Uh-huh.
I watched it. I saw a company man posted on Twitter and I just watched it there. And one thing I love about Glass Malone, I used to be a listener to his podcast. I forgot what it's called, but what it's called? ceilings, no ceilings, all right? Um,
I have no idea.
and I think the concept with Glass Malone, he has a lot of different ideas. He has sometimes he say things you be like, huh, that sounds crazy. And then you actually hear him out, you be like, okay, I understand you, but I still don't agree with you. I always
Hmm.
appreciate Gas Malone because he has different ideas, and that's why I appreciate him. Even though, of course, I don't agree with everything. But I have to disagree with him on this one because why do it has to be a child of rock? Which it could be, but why you have to throw that into this genre and not say it's not hip hop? Like, why are we so afraid to have subgenres? Like, I think that's a part of
You said because
everything.
the aesthetic is more so rock influenced and things like that. These guys are trying to be rock stars and stuff
But
like that.
yeah,
I
but
remember him
he,
saying that.
yeah, but you can't just because I say, whoever said, oh, I'm the biggest hip hop star. Like rock star is not being like, oh, I'm a rock star. I'm playing the guitar. Like rock star is just a lifestyle to me. Like you think
Hmm.
about them trashing hotels and being like, have my glasses on the coolest when I walk in the
But also,
clubs
he
and
said
everybody
something
looking
about
at me
how
taking
hip hop is a
pictures.
lifestyle too. That's the one of the arguments he was making, that hip hop is a lifestyle too. So I'm guessing he's saying there's a dichotomy of a rock star lifestyle versus a hip hop lifestyle. But
But
it's
I think
like, is there really?
well, if
I
you
think
go
just
into
as
this,
a
we're going
star, you're gonna do that stuff in general.
I think the rock star is always was seen as
The wild one.
more of not even a wild one. It was the more it's like the Grammys of like award shows. Being a
Hmm.
rock star is like, oh, I'm a rock star, I'm a pop star. Like that was like the level of it. Cause like as you grow in hip hop, they might put in magazines that you're a pop star. You know what I'm saying? Like they say about Drake. Like the bigger you get, sometimes it sucks. It's sad to say, not speaking in the genre, but speaking when you grow in music, you become like a pop star figure, or you want to be looked at as like this rock star because just the history of being a rock star, a big pop star. And most hip hop artists that influenced by rock and hip hop, the Rays, the Trippy Reds, you know what I'm saying, the Triple X's, RP to him, all these kids, the Playboy Cardi, they hold over more into the rock star. Uh, I think the rock star moniker just because of the lifestyle. Yes, they lifestyle. Yeah, they probably. Dang, this had to say because it's gonna sound really racial. Because when you think of hip hop star, you'll think of like, oh, hip hop come with a lifestyle. You think of like, oh, the gangster persona. They smoking weed everywhere they go. Blah blah blah. Yes, a lot of these quote unquote hip hop rock stars, they do smoke weed, but they have a bracelet with spikes on it, some tight jeans. They're raging at their shows. It's hip hop ish, but it's I understand when he going by lifestyle and aesthetics. It's more of a rock aesthetic. The shows is more rock influence, but it's still a part of hip hop. I think it's like being biracial. Like, what could I choose? Think about it. When people say they want, all right, bro, if I'm black, black people gonna claim me, but it's hard for me to claim white. Like if you I know a lot of mixed people, biracial people. They really cling to one genre. The one race really. They mostly gonna be if they black and white, they gonna be more identified with the black culture. Hip hop and being this rock star with like Travis Scott, he's a black man calling himself a rock star. He has white fans because what? White fans are like the majority of like consumers of hip hop and also with money, right? But he's looked up as a hip hop like he's hip hop because he's black.
Hmm.
It's racial elements towards it, but I don't really want to get too deep into that. But if you think about it, what Glass Malone is saying when it comes to like, if he was speaking on like how the media look at you and not from how it sounds and like what they producing, because it is a baby of hip hop, it's hip hop, bro. It could be a baby of rock in hip hop. Like I said, it's biracial. This music is a feeling. You could throw a genre on music. We talk about it like what is pop music? We talk about this, but music makes you feel a way. They music is rage. It make you want to rage.
Hmm.
Emotion still comes from hip hop, and also it can be a little bit rock. It's like blues. All this stuff is transformative. Like it all can get put in different lanes. And I'm like, why you? And he wasn't saying like, oh, he don't like them or like he's trying to like push him out or something like that. But in a way, it's like I understand you try to have these different ideas, glasses, but it's like, what's the point of this? Why it just can't be rage hip hop? Like why it just can't be a part of that? Because we've been having this for years. We always have collaborations between different artists and bringing different elements. You can't tell the difference from country music these days because it sounds like a freaking hip hop song sometimes, and they have hip hop artists on there. I don't know. I just don't understand why we. I thought we was. It's like it's like being past racism. Like I thought we were past like music isms and journal. Like why are we like we bro? All this shit sounds the same, bro. A lot of this stuff takes from each other. Like hip hop got so big that it's all integrated now. We all excuse my French. You can blink it out. But it's like a big orgy of music. It's like that's all it is. Because you can listen to a Travis album and it's not all rock influenced. You get what I'm saying? He have
Most of
other
it
elements.
isn't. I think the thing is like rage comes from trap.
Yeah.
And
It's a
like I
lot of
told you
trap
before,
elements.
it's mostly trap elements. It's just the aesthetic, the look of it. Like, but also they're talking about what rap stars usually would talk about. Oh, I'm doing these drugs, even though that's more of the rock aesthetic of doing all these different drugs. But in hip hop, as hip hop has moved on over time, even with 3 6 Mafia, are they not hip hop anymore because of their aesthetic?
Yeah.
See, that's when we start getting these deeper conversations. Because at first, trap wasn't hip hop. Where does trap
Mhm.
really come from? The South. Why? I feel like they trying to push the South out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if we going into that, it's like rage kind of comes from trap. Yes, there's obviously that rock star aesthetic of it, but it mostly sonically derives from trap. It's just a
Mhm.
very heavier, more denser trap. It's a lot more 808s. What are 808s mostly associated with when it comes to music?
Trap music.
Most of the time trap music, like especially with the that's that South-ish, that trunk knocking stuff. That's mostly South stuff. It's just very aggressive when it comes to this trap stuff. I just don't get it because it's like you're rapping on a beat with heavy bass, heavy 808s on it, but just because I look this way, I gotta conform to it being rock now. So
Yeah.
how come rock can have all these different things like heavy metal, screamo, punk rock, emo rock, but when it comes to hip hop, no, that's not the hip hop that I know. That can't be hip hop.
Yeah.
That's
It
not hip
it
hop.
it just seems like such an old conversation. Like it makes me think of this old lyric that Childish Gambino said: "A white kid get to wear any hat that they want, but when it comes to a black guy, one size fits all." It's like I'm too black for the whites, and I'm too whites for the blacks, and
Uh-huh.
it's like, come on, it's
Why are
like
we
it's West
segregating
Coast
hip
music.
hop?
Yeah, it's West Coast freaking funk music because the origins is funk samples
Yeah.
and like, come on, bro. It all, bro. Music's grow. It's like it has to grow. It's not gonna stay the same. The elements will change. You just would call it something different, like they did West Coast hip hop.
Gangster rap.
Gangster rap.
Hmm.
And that's also a part of West Coast hip hop. It could,
Yeah.
it's just, bro, it all helps us grow. I talked about this last year when it came to regional sounds. Shout out to Potty
Hmm.
Mouth for starting that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, bro, regional sounds, different sounds all across the board of music in general, all these notes create different music. It's a family of music, it's a family of sounds. That's all it is. And I don't know. I'm just sick of the genres, bro. That's why I love music. Like, yes, I'm a
Hmm.
hip hop head, but I'm a fan of music overall. It's music over everything.
Hmm.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where for me, obviously back in high school, middle school, I love trap music. That's the stuff I was coming up on. So to see stuff like, oh, that's not accepted in real hip hop head spaces, to see it gradually be accepted, and now this is that new conversation of, oh, this isn't hip hop because this doesn't conform to the usual standards and the common things that are supposed to be adjacent with hip hop. Do we not? Did we forget that hip hop is like what the youngest genre that there is? We're going to have to
Mhm.
grow. There's going to have to be differences. Remember, B, we have a whole alternative hip hop. It's like that kind of has been erased itself because a lot of alternative stuff is just now accepted. It's just weird to see something that's someone trying to push something out as hip hop, but it's like you want these people to be successful, but it's like, I don't know. To
And
me,
and
this
B,
type of thing opens up the door for more in hip hop than it will in rock.
like just to bring back, we can go back into centers, bro. Like about how this all this music is combined. Like if you go rock music, it comes from black people. The first rock star, technically, people look at it as a blues musician, like what's his name, Bobby Johnson or something like that. Like I think they labeled him like the first rock star because he
Mhm.
was so big, but he was a blues musician. Like all this stuff changes, man. All of it grows. Music, come on, man, it inspires others, and it just is what it is. But I'm gonna have to re-listen to the conversation, but I don't
I
know.
am
But
too.
that's one thing. That's one thing I like about Glass Malone. He gonna say some stuff, and you gonna be like, "Huh?" And then you actually think about it. You be like, "I don't agree with you, but I understand what you're saying, but I still don't agree with you." But
So what about his Gen X's is hip hop's Thriller take? You agree with that? B, why'd you even think that? Why'd you even think? Why'd you even entertain that thought? Why would you even entertain that?
I'm trying to put in the context, the proper context of like, okay, Thriller was Quincy Jones and Michael
F
Jackson's
no,
full.
B. The answer is F no. There's no context I could put that album in to
But
ever amount to that.
I'm trying to see it correlating. Like, what did he ever like expound on that
Chart
idea?
success and stuff like that, and the
Uh,
songs charting and things like that. But to me, there's so many elements missing from a GNX to make it a thriller.
Could he use that for
Just
Drake's
no.
views? Could views be Thriller then? Because it has mad short success.
Yeah, it does. And to me, hip hop wise, I don't think Drake's views would be a hip hop's thriller.
Because it's not all fully hip hop that's on the charts.
No, because I feel like thriller wasn't necessarily just one genre itself. But
Hmm.
because it has R&B elements, it has pop elements,
So
you
I'm
know,
saying you want a full core hip hop album, like actually like
like a
Kendrick.
like a it's an album made by I'm thinking album made by a hip hop artist that is
So
hip hop's thriller.
so Drake not hip hop?
No, 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 no. The reason I'm saying that views is not hip hop because see now I feel like I'm getting misconstrued because I might be confusing myself. I think Drake's views is not hip hop's thriller because to me, while it does have chart success, I can't really think of like the big hits like you can off of a thriller. You get what I'm saying? Like with Thriller, you got what Billie Jean. Billie Jean is on Thriller, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Thriller, the actual title track. Dang, I really gotta look at Thriller. Um, what is the song with him and Paul McCartney? I'm losing my thought. Let me look up Thriller's track list real
that
quick.
girl is mine. What about you think about Controller, Pop Style? Feel Away is not really was a hit, but it's a
See,
great
that's what
song.
I'm saying. Okay, so look,
Um,
now I'm looking at the track list for Thriller right now. Track list. First of all, 9 tracks. Crazy
yeah.
as it is. 42 minutes. Want to be starting something? Cool.
Wanna be
Baby
starting
Be Mine?
something?
Cool. The Girl Is Mine, Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, PYT.
Hmm.
In terms of like it all sonically kind of like being within the same range
Hmm.
and having huge hits. Like, yes, this was
I
like
don't think
charts and stuff like
so. Do
that.
hip hop have a hip hop Thriller? Because
That's
GNX is
why
not
remember I
that.
told you earlier in what we've been jamming. I think the closest album we have to that and who we get it from is a Rihanna with
That's
Anti.
not hip hop though.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
not.
That's the closest. That's what I'm saying. That's the closest. But a lot of that album has a lot of hip hop elements. That's why I say that. Even though you can say that about
But
every music genre now. I know you say that a lot. But I'm trying to think like I don't think do we can hip hop ever have a thriller?
I don't know. I don't know. Fetty Wap got the
I don't
closest thing with all the hits.
then you'd say Nelly then, basically at that point.
Fetty Wap had like 4 or 5 hits they dropped on that album, bro. But no,
Yeah.
I really I have to think about that. A hip hop Thriller with all the hits, but it has to have less tracks too. Like you can't have a freaking 16 track album.
Yeah, that's why I can't put Views in there because Views has like what 20 tracks. Like
Yeah.
a lot of
Even
those tracks are B sides. A lot of
yeah,
Thriller is A sides.
I can't put GNX in there because they don't have the actually the only big song off GNX is Luther.
Luther. Second to that is
Yeah,
maybe Squabble Up.
and I'm saying they was on there, but they wasn't like huge songs.
Yeah, not like
Nah,
those. That's what I'm trying to think.
nah.
Like, what album in hip hop will we have that could be hip hop's Thriller? Not saying that it's literally the exact equivalent to Thriller, but it's hip hop's Thriller.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to actually do a research. We might have to have a discussion about that. I'm gonna do some research and I'll let you know if I'm down to do it because I'm like, yo, I think I got it out, but I don't know. I don't know.
I understand, but yeah. Let us know what y'all think. Is rage not hip hop? Or is this just a new like trap isn't hip hop conversation? Let us know in the comment section down below. But let's get to the last topic, B, because even though we didn't talk about it last week, that whole Kanye situation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that. Yeah.
Pun hopefully not intended.
Mm-mm.
But recently, Gina Views off of Effective Immediately DJ Head's radio show that he hosts with Gina Views. She had an interesting conversation and clip that she put up on Twitter. And I thought that, well, TikTok, I saw it on TikTok originally. I thought it would be a pretty dope conversation to have. What are some albums in artist discography where they could have stopped and made nothing else? For me, obviously the easiest one to say this with is Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. After that album, he could have stopped and it would have been perfect for me. Like he didn't have to make any more albums for me for it to be
Is
just
this
perfect.
is this considered production as well? Because we
No,
wouldn't get
just in
out
terms of like
Daytona.
your discography, in terms of like your discography, you can still
Okay.
produce and all that type of stuff. But I'm saying like your discography specifically, like your
I say,
album discography.
if I go Kanye West, I'll say Life After Pop. I mean, what's it called Pablo? What's it called Life?
Yay. Oh, the Life of Pablo.
No, the Life of Pablo would be mine for Kanye.
Okay.
If he just no Kids See Ghosts because that's after it.
Yeah, it is.
Kids See Ghosts by Kanye.
Now you gotta put
If
Yay up in there, B. You gotta put Yay
oh
up
well,
in
yay!
there.
If that was the last thing he ever created, I'm good. I don't need no more Kanye. I don't need no more Yay.
I think for
Um,
me, it's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. After that, I'm like, yeah, I'm
mm,
cool.
and I need Kids
But
See
I already
Ghosts.
told you, Yeezus was the
You got any other artists?
Drake right now, based off right now, because he could come out with a classic next week. I don't know.
Who would be?
Uh, I think I'm good after CLB.
Mm, Kid Cudi, I'm good at the in the cut. No more at the in the cut.
Oh, but what about
No
his?
more at
Oh,
the
well, yeah. What about
no,
But B Passion Pain Demon Slaying?
anything after in the cut. I'm
Come on,
good.
Bullet Speeding
After
Through Heaven, B.
hey, if he would have dropped nothing after in the cut, his to me his discography is solid. It's not the greatest, but it's solid. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? In my opinion.
Dr.
Um,
Dre's 2001 for me.
you don't like, but he don't got much. Got Chronic.
Compton,
I mean, not Chronic.
Compton,
Compton was
Missionary.
cool though. Uh, well, you could have said Compton because I think Compton was a stellar. I'm not stellar, but I think
Compton was
was
good. It
okay.
was
It was
solid.
solid.
Yeah, I
It was
bought it.
solid. Damn, this one
But I
be
mean,
tough.
B, if he only had those two though, like just the Chronic in 2001,
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
I say Black Album for Jay-Z.
Oh, B, I can't say that. For me, it's American Gangster. I need that American Gangster. I especially just watched the
I
movie. I showed my girl the movie for the first time last night. I need that American Gangster, B.
B.
I'm sorry, B. I need that.
I like American Gangster,
Uh-huh.
and I like 444. But if he would
Uh-huh.
have stopped at the Black Album,
Would he have
he
been the
good.
greatest rapper of all time, B?
He's still one of those now without it. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think his if he would have actually retired, he would have been like everybody like, yo, but look what Hove did. You know what I'm saying? I think Black Album is more powerful because you got Kingdom Come after that.
Uh-huh.
You know, you got what else
Is
after? I'm
American
talking about
Gangster after that one?
yeah, American Gangster was '07. It was like
Oh,
right after
Blueprint
Kingdom
2.
Come.
Blueprint 2 is after that, right? Or no? Or
No,
Blueprint 2 is before Black Album.
Blueprint 3 is after American Gangster. The Black
No,
Album was '04.
I'm talking about I'm talking about the Black Album.
Oh, Black.
If he
I'm
would
talking about the
stop.
Black. If he would have stopped, he good. He
Yeah.
got Blueprint Two was put have been Blueprint Two in
Kingdom Come.
uh no Kingdom Comes '06. So he good.
Mm.
That's him returning back. '04 was him retiring as the Black Album. That would have been
Yeah.
because he left on a crazy note on that B. How
But
could
yeah.
a finish off that? Come on.
Okay,
Um
so with the after the Black Album, Kingdom Come, American
yeah.
Gangster, Blueprint
Mhm.
3, Magna Carta, Holy Grail,
And
444.
that was horrible. That's the worst album in
Yep.
his
And
discography.
Watch the Throne too. What's the worst album in his discography?
Magnum Carter.
Oh.
What you thought I said?
Thought you were saying that
American
about
Gangster?
444 for a second. No,
Oh
no, I know you.
nah.
I know you're
Nah.
not saying that about American Gangster.
Yeah.
I know you're not saying it about
Yeah.
that. No, no, no. Come
Come on,
on.
man. Come on.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of another
What about
Snoop Dogg,
Luke?
Doggy Style. That's all I need.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easy. That's all I need from Snoop. And
Oh,
he can go do his thing.
I'm trying to think of some big artists. Kendrick Lamar, B. If
Nah,
he
he
had
could
to
keep
stop,
going.
no, if he had to stop though, if you had to choose a point for him to stop, I'd say Dang.
Gen, I
Dang
say
could be his last
GNX.
album.
I say GNX could be his last album. Cause like
Mm.
that's a dope album too.
It's a
I'm
good album. It's solid.
yeah.
I gotta say Dang though, because
I
if you
think
would
I
have ended off
think
on Dang, B,
yeah.
hey, I
But
mean he's
I
already in
think
top five conversations of all time,
yeah.
but
Top three, B. Top three conversations. With Kendrick, bro, one thing about maybe top two. With Kendrick, I feel like all of his albums is intentional. So like I it's hard for me to cut him off. If I cut him off, it has to be his last album to me. I feel like we need Mr. Rouse and Big Steppers, even though I'm not big of a fan of it, but it's something that you need from an artist. I think you, especially those type of artists, I think you need that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like you need those type of those the therapy album. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Another person, Lupe Fiasco. I say he could have stopped that, even though I love some of his newer stuff. But if I want to remain, nah, this hard. Testaway
I'm
Youth.
trying to look. I'm about to say
Testaway
because
Youth.
I'm not a big Lupe Fiasco fan myself,
Him
so
stopping
I
that
could have
test.
stopped at the Cool, and I would have been cool. But yeah,
um,
because I'm looking the Cool, Lasers, Food and Liquor 2, Tetsuo and Youth, Drogas Light, Drogas Way, Drill Music and Zion, Samurai. I'm surprised you said Lupe because I've heard only good things about like Samurai. Obviously, we reviewed that last year. Go
I'm
check that
saying
out.
I like those, but I'm just saying it's some stuff. It's some stuff even before Tesla and Youth. I'm like Tesla and Youth for me was like my last. Like I love Samurai, but Tesla and Youth was like my last like favorite Lupe album. And I'm like I think anything after that I could live. If I don't have Tesla and Youth, I'm good as long as I have that, and I still have the Cool, and I have Food and Liquor. I'm
Hmm.
straight, and I like some stuff off Food and Liquor too as well.
Mm.
But Tesla and Use will be my ending. If I'm putting it in that way, where like I still get the stuff I love, even though I love some stuff afterwards, but I have that one album. That's how I'm looking at it. That's why I had to do Kids See Ghosts, because like Life After Pablo, I thought of first, but I'm like, I need Kids See Ghosts. Like I love that project.
Mm.
So with Kid Cudi, it's nothing after Indica that I need,
But what about Kids See Ghost?
but it's different with Kanye. I still have it
No, no,
because
no, no, no,
it was a
no, no, no.
sacrifice.
With Kid Cudi, you gotta delete it because he's part of that too.
Dang. All right, Kids See Ghosts. God damn it. I didn't even think
Okay,
about that.
I got one for you, B. Dang, I just had them all right. Oh, first Lil Wayne, Carter 3.
Carter 3 easily. After that, we good.
Yeah, because Carter 4, even though I overhated it when it first came out, I still don't need it. No ceilings. I love no ceilings though. So I can stop it at no ceilings.
On
But
those
if I'm doing
ceilings.
album wise, Carter 3. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
No, come on. We need some more after. I need window shopping, B.
Get Rich or Die Trying the soundtrack, B. That's on the soundtrack.
But that's after Get Rich Stop Trying the movie. I mean the album.
Is it? Okay, fine. We can do the soundtrack. Maybe The
Yeah.
Massacre. How about that? The Massacre.
Okay, the Massacre is good. The Massacre is good. Because
Because
I
it
still
got some
like,
hits on there. It got some joints on there. I'm not gonna lie. I do
yeah.
got some joints on there. I do be hating on it. I know for you, Future DS2, so I'm not even gonna entertain that conversation.
DS2.
Um, I said for you,
Oh yeah, you
Future
could
can
just
keep
stop.
going.
You can
He
stop
can
at
keep going.
DS2.
He can keep going. Okay, fine. Outcast. I say
Mm.
Stankonia.
Easy, Stankonia, B. We don't care
Oh, I
about
thought
I don't
you
want.
B. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you was gonna say Equimini. B. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you was gonna say Equimini.
No, Stankonia, yes, it's my least favorite out of like,
Hmm.
but you need Stankonia because you gotta have. Sorry, Mr. Jackson. Ooh, that's
Oh,
one
of
of my
course.
favorite songs. It's like it's still stuff on Stankonia. Bombs over Baghdad. Like it's still
Hmm.
stuff you need. But like, I'm sorry. I love Prototype. I love Hey Now, but uh,
But B, you
I
said you was
love
a big
stuff on
fan of
there.
Idlewild. You said you was a huge fan of that.
Nah, we don't need Out of Wild, but I could. You know what? I think I'm gonna stop at The Love Below. I cut him off at The
Mm.
Love Below because Prototype. I love that song. And I love Hey Now. And I like the way you move. Like I remember just playing, hey,
No, that's
you
on
know what I'm saying?
hard.
Like, yeah, so it's I can't think of no more. I should have wrote a list, make a list. But I thought I could go off the Dizzy.
I mean, I'm looking at some artists right now. For me, Rick Ross, God forgives I don't. He could have stopped right there and that would have been cool.
He could have stopped at Teflon Don.
Nah, I need God forgives I don't be. Come on.
That has diced pineapples on it, right?
Uh-huh.
Damn,
These
that's
Negroes
that.
gonna hold me
We'll be back.
back.
Boy,
Hey,
hey,
facts.
boy, you
Hey,
gonna help me in the video?
hey,
Oh snap!
I'm not gonna entertain Bun B, but UGK they could have stopped after their self-titled album. I can't talk about E40. I haven't listened to enough of his albums. Ludacris, he could have stopped at Release Therapy.
Yeah, I'm good on Luda. He could have never began. I think my family about to come
That's
in.
disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to have this conversation again. We're gonna have to revisit this another time
Yeah,
because I
I'm
know
gonna
I'm
make a
looking at Busta
list.
Rhymes and I know that you need all his albums on yours. So yeah,
Uh,
come on,
Boy could have
Blockbuster.
stopped that leader. Hey, he could have stopped that leader of the new. Oh
Oh
god.
man, but that's about it for the show. You got any closing thoughts, B?
My closing thoughts, man, is man, let music be music. Let people expand the genres, man. I love it. Yes, sometimes people get invited to the genre that we really don't like. You know, people are sometimes I'm with gatekeeping, sometimes I'm not, you know. It's a flip of the coin. Sometimes I'm a little all over the place. I'm a human, you know, I'm a hypocrite. But I just love music and I think it should just expound and add more genres, more elements into all types of sounds and stuff. It's just creativity I'm a big fan of. So yeah, that's my closing statement. Keep music creative.
And this has been Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
My statement: Drake fans, stop it. I seen on Twitter this weekend a Drake fan saying, "Oh, I'm stepping on this ish right here," holding Drake's "Take Care" vinyl up, but stepping on Kendrick Lamar vinyls. Stop that. I hate that ish.
Yeah.
Stop disrespecting physical merchandising. A lot of people
Corny.
eat off of that because you stepping on it and damaging it. Someone cannot buy that now. That could be out of someone's hand, and people who have created that are now losing money. Stop that ish.
This is why
I just,
this is why Phantom kind of can ruin everything, bro.
yeah, yeah. I just hate it. Like, let everybody eat. Stop disrespecting physical merchandising, especially if you haven't paid for it, because that's
Thanks.
even super disrespectful. Because now a store has to damage that item out. People can't profit off of that. Yada yada. Woot, woot, woot. Just stop that ish. But yeah, that's my closing thoughts on that. But
Yeah.
yeah, this has been another episode of Beyond Beats and Culture. I'm Chase the Dark Sage.
I'm T.
Peace.
Peace.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.